following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for high school basketball action here on WCMP. Tonight we'll see the Pine City Dragons getting set to take on the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. Tip-off is coming your way shortly, but now we send it to the court for the pregame. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's doubleheader here inside Pine City High School, where the Dragons, the girls team, will play first here against the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, and then after this game, the boys team, they will take on Spectrum. So we got a doubleheader inside Pine City High School here this evening, and the Dragons, the ladies team, will play first against the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, a Class 3A team. Then after this one, it'll be the Dragons, the boys team, as they get set to take on the Spectrum Sting. And they are in their section, in fact, so a Section 6 AA game. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. I'll be bringing you all the action from tonight's doubleheader here inside Pine City High School. And as we take a look at these two teams coming into tonight, we'll start with the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, who play in Section 5, 3A. Again, Chisago Lakes is a 3A school. They have an 8-14 record, but as Joshua Muir, our morning show host, calls a lot of games for Chisago Lakes, he knows, and if you heard the interview with head coach Ted Haas last night, he knows as well that this Chisago Lakes team is much better than what their record shows. They have an 8-14 record, but they are a much better team than that. They have just played an outstanding schedule up to this point. They're ranked 4th in their section right now of 5-3A, which is also home to one of our other local schools. Princeton is in that section as well. But as we take a look at the schedule here for Chisago Lakes, they start off the season with Benilde St. Margaret's. Yeah, that's not a bad team at all, Benilde St. Margaret's. They're only number 2 in the state, so that's not a bad team. Then they won 2 straight against St. Agnes and Mora, then fell against Bemidji and St. Paul Como Park. Went on another 2-game win streak against St. Francis and St. Croix Prep, but then that's when the losing streak started of about 5 games against Cambridge, Becker, Monticello, Sauk Rapids, Rice, and Big Lake. Some very tough competition. Then a 1-point victory over North Branch, 44-43, and between those two teams, it never matters what the records are between those two, because they always will have that great rivalry, and they will always play that well against each other. So they are set to actually do battle here next Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, so that should be a good one between those two teams. I know Joe Lattimore, a guy who is able and willing to call games for us this season, has daughters on that North Branch team, and he's excited for that Tuesday game, as that is in North Branch against Chisago Lakes, so that should be a good one as well. But as we look forward after that win over North Branch, they had another 3-game losing streak against St. Francis, Castle Lake, Benna, and Cambridge Isani. Then won 2 games against Princeton and Malacca. Not easy teams, by the way. Princeton, very good team. They're in the same section, so that's a good win. But Malacca, one of the top teams in this Section 6 AA that Pine City's in, so that's not a bad team that they beat there. They only beat them by 3, but a win's a win. And then they lost 4 straight once again to Becker, Zimmerman, Monticello, 3 straight if my eyes can correct. But then they won against Big Lake just yesterday. On Thursday, they beat them 50-39. So things are looking like they're turning around for Chisago Lakes a little bit. They lost earlier in the season to Big Lake 76-60, and then they come back and beat them now 50-39. So things might be turning around here for Chisago Lakes at the perfect time. And Pine City has to be on their A game here tonight. Otherwise, this 3A school is going to prove a tough one here this evening. But for the Pine City Dragons, well, we know them all so well. It's the seniors, and the big 3 that we talk about all the time with this Pine City Dragons squad. The big 3 being, of course, Carly Jusak, Chloe Lind, and Sophie Lottie. Plus, they have LSL, who is a senior as well. So this team is just absolutely loaded with talent, and even coming off the bench. You know, this is going to be a younger-ish team next year, but it's not going to be without experience. They do a great job of making sure that they get all of those players off of the bench to get in and get that experience for next year because, well, this is next year's team on the bench, and some are even starting right now, one of them being Carly Jusak and Summer Thiemann. They'll bring this team forward next year, so got to get those players some time on the court and make sure that they are ready for next season. But we talk about next season we can't talk about next season without looking at this year because, man, this year's team is very, very good. This team feels like the complete team. You've got young ladies who can play inside and out in the big three, but then you've also got LSL, who's shorter, but her stature, she does not let that bother her, and she doesn't use that as an excuse. More times than not, she's inside the paint, not only getting rebounds, but she's going up against bigger competition and winning the battle and getting the shot to fall inside. I don't know of a lot of girls that can do that, and that's just her competitive nature, her want to get it done. There might be no one else on this court who wants it more than she does at points in time. This entire Pine City team does, but man, when she is inside, she has no fear, and she is willing to go after it, and that is what is so impressive about LSL, just the want and the will. She says when she goes inside, it is hers. That is her determination on the court. And again, you've got Summer Thiemann, who comes out and does really well from three, but she's also not afraid to play some defense. Summer Thiemann and LSL might be the two shortest ones on the team, but that doesn't mean they can't play extremely, and they are. We've seen times where them two alone have taken over a game just with rebounds, defense. It doesn't matter. They are out there making plays for their team and trying to make a difference, and they do. And that's what I love to see between those two, and you just love to see the camaraderie that this team has from top to bottom, whether you're starting or you're a bench player for this team. It is just, you can see the will, the want, the need that this team has to be a family, be one, and not just 5 individuals out there on the floor. They want to be one unit out there, and they do a great job of that. And that has helped them to a 17-6 record, good enough for 4th in Section 6AA. They are behind Albany, Holdingford, and Sauk Centre. Doesn't look like there's much room to move up for Pine City right now. They might, if they win over Mille Lacs at the end of the year, move up past Sauk Centre. Sauk Centre probably loses another game, but that is a big might as well. But Pine City right now, again, in that 4th spot in the section. There's a chance they could move between that 5th, 6th spot, maybe even that 7th, but there's a low chance of them going that low. So I'd say anywhere between 4th and 6th is where they'll wind up at the end of the season going into playoffs. So they will have a home game no matter what for Pine City, but the wonder is, can they move up or can they stay right where they're at and get that good seeding, get the home win, and then go on the road to St. John's or St. Cloud State and continue on and make their push to state. Of course, they'll have to face more than likely Albany or Holdingford, maybe even Sauk Centre again. And, I'm telling you, if they play Sauk Centre again, any point in the playoffs, that game's going to be different. Sauk Centre's had Pine City's number the last couple years, but if they play in the playoffs again, man, I'm telling you, that game will be different. As we look at Pine City, they just wrapped up their conference schedule last night with a win over Ogilvie, 99-64, leaving them 12-0 in conference play this season and 17-6 on the year. As we look at the section tournaments here for Pine City girls team in Section 6AA, again, they're the 4th seed. They would host a home game, and then they would travel on the road. As we look at the schedule right now, apparently not quite ready to look at. Of course, it's still early on, so it is not quite ready to look at on the Minnesota State High School League. Usually they have kind of a makeshift one, just to give you a preview, at least with the dates and times, but they don't have that yet, so they're still trying to nail that down for the beginning of March for playoffs, but those are coming up quickly. It's March 2nd that playoffs start here for Pine City, and again, they'll get that one home game, then travel out, I believe it's to St. John's, and then if they make it to the championship, they'll travel back to St. Cloud State. So no matter what, no matter how far Pine City goes in the playoffs, whether it's one round, whether it's all the way to the state championship, we will be there covering them all the way. We only got a couple more minutes left of pre-game warm-ups, and then we'll be set for our national anthem and starting lineups. And then we'll be set for tip-off here in this game. What we'll actually do is we'll take a quick commercial break. Then we'll have our starting lineups announced. Our national anthem will have been played, and when we come back, we should be set for tip-off here inside Pine City High School in this girls basketball game, the first of a doubleheader between the Dragons and the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. You're listening to basketball here, girls basketball, on 106.5 FM AM 1350.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM AM 1350. Your starting lineups for the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, who are head coached by Jeff Sauer-Essig. It'll be number 2, Eva Aldrich. Number 3, Brianna Willie. Number 15, Emily Erickson. 23, Marissa Peterson. And number 25, Abigail Sufka. The Wildcats are wearing their white away uniforms with their green letters outlined in gold and their gold letters outlined in green. Your Pine City Dragons, head coached by Ted Haas, will be their starting lineup. Number 3, LSL. Number 5, Sophie Lottie. Number 10, Summer Thiemann. Number 12, Carly Jusak. And number 14, Chloe Lind. They, of course, are wearing their home or white or green uniforms with their white letters and numbers outlined in black. 18 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. We are just about set for tip-off. Dragons are out there ready for tip-off. It's Chloe Lind at center court. You got Jusak on the far side, and then in the front court waiting for tip-off is Sophie Lottie. Dragons will go right to left on your radio dial to begin this first half, and the Wildcats will go left to right on your radio dial. And here we go. We are underway, and tip-off gets tied up there, but it is won by the Dragons. It's off to Lottie now on the far side. Lottie will drift towards the top of the key. She looks, waits, gives it off now to Summer Thiemann. Thiemann fakes the pass one way, fakes the pass another way, tries a spin, nice spin, but no one there. Now she gives it inside to Lottie. Lottie will go inside to Jusak, and Jusak in for two. And that is something I've noticed that they have tried to work a lot on here in the last couple of games, is getting Jusak or Lind to shoot underneath on a play and try and get them underneath the basket for an easy two, and they've really done that really well here the last couple of games. Now with it is Peterson, and she'll get it off now to Willie. Willie still looking, and now she'll give it back to Peterson. Peterson drifts towards the top of the key. She'll give it off now to Sufka. Sufka to Willie, and Willie will give it back to Peterson. Peterson looking, she'll give it back to Willie. Willie being patient, and now they'll go inside to Aldrich. Aldrich to Willie. Willie drives inside. Pass underneath. Stolen away by Sophie Lottie. Lottie quickly up the court to Summer Thiemann, but she traveled. Unfortunately, just didn't get that dribble down in time before she took the step, and it is a travel there on Summer Thiemann. So a turnover, and the Wildcats have it back. That's Willie who has it on the near side, guarded by Lind. Now she's double-teamed, and she'll give it off now to Peterson. Peterson in the near side corner, guarded by Lind, and Lind not backing down. Peterson trying to go hard inside, and then a shot there. I believe that's Erickson it is, who puts it up and in for two. Thiemann gives it off to Lottie on the far side. They're going to double Lottie right away, and not a bad idea if you're any team. And a three from Jusak, and she misses there. Lottie goes after the rebound and gets it. She'll give it now to LSL inside to Lind. Lind trying to get around the defense. She's guarded by about three different Wildcats, but she still manages to get around them and up and in for two. Chloe Lind had 20 points and 10 rebounds in the first half last night. She finished with 28 points and 13 rebounds. A steal here from Summer Thiemann. She brings it inside now to Carly Jusak, who shoots in the middle. No good! And a missed opportunity there by the Dragons, as this shot is up no good. Rebound still up for grabbed by Erickson. Her shot's no good, got her own rebound again, and this time the rebound somehow travels all the way out to Sufka. So already the Wildcats leading there on the defensive boards. Pine City missed three opportunities there, and that's going to be, if you're head coach Ted Haas, you're going to tell them, hey, we got to get those. Can't allow them those opportunities. Again and again, Willie will drive inside, looking to give it off to someone. She mishandled it, and it's a steal there for Carly Jusak. So Sophie Lottie will bring it back up. 15-10 to go here in the first half. She'll lob it inside to Jusak, back outside to LSL. Nice job bringing it down one-handed by LSL out there in the far side corner. Now it's Lottie who gives it to Thiemann. Thiemann trying to drive inside, gives it back to Lind. Lind, she'll drive inside. She backs it out to Jusak. Jusak along three. It's just off the mark. Lind coming down with the rebound, puts it up and in for two. Lind continuing where she left off last night. A strong presence inside is Lind, and now this ball nearly stolen away. Being aggressive there is Lottie, but it's inbounded there to Erickson. Now to Willie. It's hard to see those numbers. They're gold on white, so I apologize if I don't call the name right away. Passing it around are the Wildcats, now trying to get it inside. Erickson's just going to take the shot from the free throw line. She drops it through for two to make it 6-4, under 14.5 to go. Lottie will give it up to Jusak. Jusak on the far side now to Thiemann. Thiemann back to Lottie. Lottie now to Sell. Sell all the way across the court back to Lottie on the far side. Now back to Sell. Sell for three, just off the mark. Jusak is right there for the rebound. To Sell, now to Lottie again. Lottie for three. That one's off the mark, and Jusak, let's see. Are we going to get a foul? I think we are. No one really had firm control of that one, but they're going to say that I think Chisago Lakes is going to get the foul. They are. It's going to be Peterson who gets the foul call. So Jusak will officially get the rebound there. They are going to say she had enough possession to get fouled. So Jusak with the rebound. They will go inside to Jusak. Jusak, her pass is tipped, and she manages to pick it up. And this one going to be stolen away by Peterson. Pass that just went through the fingertips there of a Dragon. Peterson will bring up the court. It's nearly knocked away by Thiemann. Now going inside here to Sufka. That's blocked by Jusak and stolen away by LSL. Thiemann outside to Jusak on the far side for three. Carly Jusak for three. Great transition offense, and that's one of the things that I've noticed that Pine City has greatly improved on from the beginning of the season to now is their transition offense. They've done such a great job, and a travel here on Willie of Chisago Lake, so Pine City will get the ball back. And that's exactly the aggressiveness the Dragons are looking for, trying to create turnovers any way they can, travel, out of bounds, steal, doesn't matter. They've done a good job of that lately, and again, to see where this team has come since the beginning of the season is just awesome. Jusak gets a screen from Lati. That shot is up, no good. Lynn gets the rebound, and it's going to go out of bounds off of a Wildcat and stay with the Dragons. Jusak and Lynn both have 2 rebounds here. Lati will get set to inbound. She does on the far side to Jusak. Jusak will go to Lati. Lati inside to Lynn. Couldn't control that pass. And Jusak tried to grab it before it went out of bounds, but unfortunately, she could not bring it in cleanly, and it will roll out of bounds, last touched by her. So we'll go back to the Wildcats, and now Thiemann guarding the Wildcat really closely, but they'll get it off. Now to Sufka. Sufka nearly stolen away by a Dragon, but Willie has it now. She'll give it off now to Erickson. Erickson over to Sufka. Sufka, her bounce pass to Peterson, just gets there in time because Lind was right there waiting for it. And now Aldrich, she'll give it back out to Sufka. Sufka over to Willie. Willie looking to drive inside. Pass there to Aldrich, I believe, and you're going to get Jusak on the foul. So we hear first, teams first, and it's Aldrich at the line to shoot 2. First one is up and good. First substitution of the game here for the Wildcats will bring in number 13, Addison Barrett. Second one is no good by Aldrich. Rebounded there by Sophie Lati. She's going to bring it up the court. She'll slow things down in the front court now. She drives. She finds a lane that she likes, and she's going to be fouled. And they're going to send her to the line to shoot 2. So the second foul here on Chisago Lakes, the first on Aldrich. 9-5 with 12:17 to go here in the first half. First one no good there from Lati. And the second one good. So 1 for 2 there for Lati to make it 10-5. Wildcats bring it up. It's Willie. Willie looking, and that's going to be a kick ball by Lind. Willie was looking to get it off to Erickson, but Lind right there. And Lind's defense as of late has just been outstanding. Whether she's boxing out, getting a rebound, or getting steals, or helping her team get steals, or just creating a mess for the offense to try and work through. She is, I mean, that's probably one of the things that she's improved on the most here this season is her defense, and St. Scholastica's getting a very good one. Willie now will take it inside for the Wildcats. She'll get it off. And that shot is no good. It will fall into the hands of Jusak for the rebound. She takes it up the court on the far side. She looks, tries to drive inside. It probably should have been called a foul there, but she does not get the call. It's ripped away by Erickson. Then it's nearly stolen away again, and up in the air for grabs. Chisago Lakes brings it down, and that's going to be 2 for Addison Barrett. And those are the ones that Pine City are going to have to win and take away. Can't let those slide away. That one almost swatted away. Sell keeps it. Gives it off now on the far side to Thiemann. Now to Lati. Lati for 3. Just a little too much on that one. And oh, she stepped out of bounds, but they did not call it. And Lynn got the rebound, but her shot is up and no good, and rebounded here by Barrett. 10-7 is the lead for Pine City. Sufka now gives it off to Willie. Ooh, almost got away with the travel there, did Willie. But she gets it out to Barrett for 3, and that's no good. And, a missed foul there, but rebound here for Sophie Lottie. And she'll drive through the defense. No good on her shot, and it's going to stay with Pine. Oh, no. Oh. I'm going to say it went off a Dragon and out of bounds. Interesting. Lottie does not agree, and I kind of agree with her. I thought that one was off of a Wildcat. I think that should probably stay with Pine City, but either way, it is the Wildcats' ball. Barrett, ooh, nice slide, but she kept herself alive, and now stolen away here by Sophie Lottie. She'll give it across the court to LSL. Now to Vivian Lottie, who checks into the game for the first time. Sophie Lottie guarded well, gives it off to Chloe Lynn for 3. That's off the mark. And, Vivian Lottie tried to grab that rebound, but it will go out of bounds. And back to Chisago Lakes. Alyssa Hilber will check in for the Wildcats. They look to bring it up the court, and they do. Inside, Hilber makes it for 2. So 10-9, Pine City still with the lead. And one of the things they're just going to have to avoid right now is mistakes and try and open up the shots now as Lottie looks for 3. That one's no good. Lind gets the hard rebound. Now to Thiemann, now to Lottie for 3. That's Vivian Lottie. That's no good. And rebounded there. I think that's Peterson or Sufka. Can't really tell. Inside to Hilber, back outside for 3. That's off the mark. Easy rebound for Willie for 2. 10-11, Pine City trails, but no time to panic as we know that they can change things up in a hurry. They'll go to Thiemann, and right now they're just kind of doubling Lottie pretty much on everything, and that's dangerous because if you double her, you're going to open up Lind and or Jusak or Vivian Lottie or Metling or anybody else, or Sell for 3. It's through! And that's the danger when you double team anybody on Pine City. You open up someone else, and they're good, and they know how to hit from anywhere. 13-11. That ball's going to go out of bounds, but who was it touched last by? Looks like Chisago Lake, so we'll go back to Pine City. LSL comes and takes a break, and Jusak will check in for her. Jusak will inbound to Lottie in the backcourt now. She brings it to the front court. Under that halfway point here in this first half, Jusak wide open for 3. It's going to go well off the mark, and it will stay with Pine City as it was last touched out of bounds by a Wildcat. So the Dragons will hold on to it. 8:42 to go. Dragons with the lead. 13-11. This ball inbounded to Lind. Now to Vivian Lottie. Vivian Lottie has it. She'll give it off to Sophie Lottie. Sophie Lottie tries to go inside to Lind. She keeps it alive. That one was going towards that baseline, but she kept it alive. Jusak just in too far on the basket, and it rejected her as Sufka will get the rebound. Now outside, that was Peterson with the rebound, and Sufka for 3. 14-13. Lottie quickly up the court. She drifts to the far side. Again, double team. She gives it off to Lottie. Vivian Lottie, that is. Now to Jusak. Sophie Lottie for 3 from the far side. It's no good, and Jusak will grab the rebound here for Pine City. She gives it off to Lottie. Lottie's going to drive inside, puts it up towards the basket. No good. Lind is going to get the rebound. This one's going to go against Willie. Her first, team's third. Looks like we'll get a timeout here by Chisago Lakes. On that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard, Embrace Orthodontics, Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Start today at EmbraceMN.com. Dragons trail by 1. And it certainly feels like the Dragons kind of are the better team right now. They're just, the couple mistakes have kind of held them down. They seem to be, I don't know about faster. These two teams seem equally as fast as each other, but it seems like Pine City has just has the upper hand in this one. But again, some of these turnovers and I feel like some of these shots are a little too quick they're taking right now. They could maybe try to slow things down. And again, for Chisago Lakes, they're just starting to double up on the big three. And if you're Pine City, you're kind of okay with that, because Thiemann, Sell, and all of your other players can shoot it from anywhere on the court. So I think you're okay with them double teaming you. You just got to make sure that these passes are getting there, because the passes haven't been as clean as you would like to see them if you're Pine City. So the Dragons get back out there onto the court. And they will get set to inbound, as they were not the last to touch it. Inbound to Lind, who gets it through, plus the and one. Now she'll look for the possible three-point play. That on. I do not know who they called that one on. I thought they said 11. No, 31. Okay. So it's on 31, Hilber. It'll be her first and the team's fourth, as now Lind is at the line to shoot one for the possible three-point play. No good. Rebounded here by Sufka. She'll give it off now to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive inside. Piper Metling checks into the game for the first time here for Pine City. Hilber, not Wilbur. Hilber gives it off inside to Sufka. Sufka trying, but she's guarded well by LSL. And again, now Willie looking to drive inside. She'll give it back out to Sufka. Back to Willie. Willie traveled. And the ball will go back to Pine City. 15-14 is the lead for Pine City with 7:16 to go here in half number one. Checking back into the game is Marissa Peterson for Chisago Lakes. She checks in for Sufka. Lati will inbound to Jusak. Big three are out there right now. Only one not from the starting lineup is Piper Metling. And his pass from Jusak to Sell. Now to Lind. Lind looking to find a way inside. She'll go to Lati. Lati tries to take it to the basket, but she's fouled. And she'll go to line and shoot two. Lati's done a good job drawing fouls here this evening. That one's going to be on Marissa Peterson, her second, team's fifth. Lati, first one up, good. 16-14. Second one up and good as well. So Sophie Lati makes them both to make it 17-14. Wildcats have it now into their front court. It's Willie on that far side. She'll give it off to Hilber. Hilber looking to drive inside. She puts up a shot and got just enough touch on it to drop it through for two. 17-16, Jusak. She'll look. She's waiting for Jusak, or excuse me, Lati, rather. And, very, very ill-advised pass as Barrett's going to get the steal. Put it up and in for two. That pass was well over the head of Lati from Jusak, and that's unfortunate. 17-18, the Dragons trail. It's LSL who will give it all the way over to Jusak on the far side. Now to Sell. Back to Metling. Inside to Lati. Outside to Sell on the near side for three. Oh, just off the mark. And with the rebound that time cannot see the number. Gold on white just doesn't seem to work for my eyes. I think they got Lati with the foul, and again, I cannot tell who's at the line. I think it's Erickson. She misses that free throw. It's 20-17. Quickly up the court to Lind. It's good for two. Lati with a beautiful pass, and Lind just wide open. That was a small window to fit it through, but she did it. And Dragons trying to put on somewhat of a full court press, but Chisago Lakes just getting through it, and they're not getting through it, or Pine City isn't getting enough through quickly enough. this rebound still up for grabs, and my goodness, Pine City's got to bring down these defensive rebounds. They are not doing a good job of that here so far tonight, and if they have even half of them, this game is probably well in favor of Pine City. 5:31 to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. Find out more at embracemn.com. That pass goes out of bounds and back to Pine City. Lottie up the court. Right now it just feels like Pine City's pressing a little bit too much, trying to force things a little bit. Nice pass inside, though, to Lind. Oh! They're going to call her for a travel. Lind didn't like the call, and I thought she was going up for the shot. I didn't think she traveled, but they don't agree. But we'll go back to the Wildcats, and that right now is something you can't have. But a huge steal there by Sophie Lottie. And now she'll give it off to Sell. Now to Piper Metling for three. That's going to come up short. It's Lind who gets the rebound. Now out to Sophie Lottie for three. That's no good. Jusak going to bring in the rebound, though, this time. She'll put it up, and it will drop through for two. 21-20, back and forth we go. Under 5 minutes to go. And that's what they're doing. They're playing three in the backcourt here for Chisago Lakes and then just passing it up to the one on the far side. It's Willie who gives it off now to Peterson. Peterson back to Willie. Willie looking to drive inside. Oh, might have gotten away with a travel there, but either way, that shot is up and no good. Aldrich with the rebound. Didn't see who dropped it through. I think that might be Aldrich for two. 22-21. Lottie will give it to Jusak. Jusak stops, pauses, gives it to Sell. Now to Metling. Now to Jusak. Jusak looks. She'll drift to the far side. Give it back to Metling. And Metling possibly had Lottie open, and it's stolen. Oh, travel. Stolen away. Up and in for two by Erickson. And those are the mistakes Pine City has to avoid. They've been way too many here in this first half, and that'll be something they talk about here at halftime. That's a nice pass inside to Chloe Lind from Lottie. Dragons switch up their defense, but they leave the middle wide open. Now leave Peterson open on the near side for three. Now instead they'll give it off. I think that's Barrett? Yeah, it is Barrett. Again, I apologize. My eyes are having a hard time with the gold on the white, so I can't see the number clearly right away. And far side now to Barrett. Barrett gives it off to Willie. Willie looking. She gives it off inside. Knocked out of bounds by Jusak. Jusak will get a block. Couple substitutions, and I think we'll get a timeout. Yes, we will. Timeout called here by Pine City. That'll be their first. They trail 24-23 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. So under 3.5 to go here in the first half. Dragons trail by one, and again, it's been the mistakes here, the turnovers that have led to them being down by one. They started off this game hot. I mean, they were hot to start this game, and then cooled down because of the mistakes. The turnovers were probably the biggest part of those mistakes that kind of held them down. Pine City, again, off to a hot start in this game, but the turnovers, and give credit to Chisago Lakes, they're doing a good job of doubling them. And what they're doing is kind of doubling the ball handler right now and forcing them to pass it over, and what that's doing is creating more time for the defender to get there to try and steal it. And some of these passes from Pine City haven't been the cleanest either, so got to clean that up a little bit here as you go forward. And I think, honestly, if that wasn't the case here in the first half, they'd probably have, I don't want to say a big lead, because I think it'd still be close, but I think they would no doubt have the lead. It'd probably be, 5, 6, 8-point lead, something like that. It just feels like that's the way it has gone, as these turnovers have really hampered Pine City's ability to continue to score. Meanwhile, an inbound steal from Jusak, and it's going to be stolen right back by Willie. And those are the things that we're talking about, are the mistakes there from Pine City that they have to avoid. That shot missed and out of bounds. It will go back to Pine City. So those mistakes are the ones that they have to get rid of. Because you get the steal and then all of a sudden you give it right back, and have to avoid that here going forward. Lottie looking for a screen. She loses her own dribble, but she gets it back. She'll go inside to Lind, to Jusak. Jusak will just take the jumper, 2. And that's a smart thing to do, is you've got the open shot, just take it. You don't need to drive inside necessarily. If you know you can make it, take it, and continue on. And this one's stolen away. And now an ill-advised pass by Chisago Lakes, and that's what Pine City needs to do, is force more of those shots. Lottie will drive inside, and she'll put it up and in for 2. Kind of a full court press in a way for Pine City, but they're leaving someone wide open on the far side. That's Peterson. Inside it's Aldrich, and ooh, she got bumped, and I think that's Erickson. We're going to get Lynn for the foul. That's her first team's third. But I think that is Erickson, number 15. First one is up and good. They've been pretty good from the free throw line tonight. Have the Wildcats when they've gotten there. Very few opportunities, but they've done a pretty good job. And one thing that I've noticed is they've gotten a lot of shots to fall. Some shots that look like that's not going to fall, and it does. Give them credit. They're hitting those tough shots, those awkward shots, as I like to call them. Pass to Thiemann. She thought about 3. Instead, now she picks up her dribble, gives it off to Sophie Lottie. Inside to Lind. Oh, she got swatted on the arm. They didn't catch it. And Lottie will get the rebound as it was swatted out to her by Lind. Lottie's guarded well. Oh, ill-advised pass inside. And those are the things. That's the plays that Pine City has to avoid. Oh, wide open 3 for Peterson. And wow, a miss. Usually those open shots they are making. And Aldrich, I think. Again, I apologize. I cannot see the numbers. 28-27. And just as soon as Pine City felt like they were gaining some momentum, it goes back to Chisago Lakes. Missed shot there from Thiemann. Rebound by Erickson. Only 1 point deficit for Pine City, but it's one of those where it just feels like, man, it could be so much different had only a couple things gone a little different. 1:03 to go here in the first half. A timeout called by Chisago Lakes. And again, as soon as Pine City gets something going their way, it's a mistake, like a pass that probably shouldn't have been thrown. That gets stolen away. I give credit to Chisago Lakes. They're pestering them on defense right now and not creating anything clean. But Pine City is finding those lanes inside really well, and they did that early on. Chisago Lakes tried to get them to take that away from them. And they've done a good job here, but Pine City, they're going to have to, I think, open up the perimeter a little bit. That pass is tipped, stolen away by Sophie Lottie. Great job there. Now Summer Thiemann will take it. She gets it to fall. Nice job by Summer Thiemann again. She's willing to go underneath the basket to shoot those shots, and she's not afraid. 29-28, they get the lead right back, and this is something that the Dragons have done, or the Wildcats have done, rather, is they see the full court pressure by Pine City, then they get 3 in the backcourt, then they'll send 1 up on the far side, and they'll pass it between them, and one of them eventually gets open, and then they'll get to the front court and pass it off to someone who's either open inside or on the perimeter. Willie's been a problem, too. Willie is, a little bit of a stiff arm there on Thiemann. No call. 3 from Willie. I didn't know we could stiff arm in basketball. Lottie is going to get fouled. Ted Haas is asking, hey, why didn't they get that foul call for the stiff arm on Thiemann? And yeah, I agree. I think Haas has every right to be upset with that call because they definitely got the it looked like a Derrick Henry stiff arm. Either way, Pine City's back with it. Again, refs do what they can. We can't complain too much. They do what they can. They can't see everything, and maybe they weren't in a great position to see it all. Inbound pass here to Jusak. She misses twice, unfortunately. She got her own rebound, but she missed twice. And that rebound picked up by a Wildcat. Travel there. Give it back to Pine City with 5 seconds to go. Here we go. Now they have a chance to tie this game or take the lead with 5 seconds to go, but they have to be aware of the clock. Inbound here to Lottie. She's going to bring it up the court. She's guarded. She'll put up a shot. It's through! Buzzer beater here before half from Sophie Lottie for 3, and that is a momentum shifter right here at half. My goodness. What a big shot there from Sophie Lottie to switch momentum before half. The buzzer beater from 3. And her team felt that one. You could see they got up and jumped around after that shot. They were pleased, and that is going to change momentum here at half. That's a big, big-time shot from Sophie Lottie. Wow. That is a much-needed basket for the Dragons right there. That is going to give them a lot of confidence going forward. So we do reach halftime here inside Pine City. The Dragons, despite the struggles in the first half, do have the lead off of the Sophie Lottie buzzer beater, 32-31. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll come back after a few words from our fine sponsors. And we'll recap this first half, and I'll let you know what I think the Dragons need to do in the second half to get the victory here this evening. And then, of course, stay tuned after the game. We'll have our post-game interview with the head coach, Ted Haas, and our A&W player of the game. You're listening to Girls Basketball here on 106.5 FM, WCMP.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, the site for tonight's doubleheader. But first, this girls' basketball game against Chisago Lakes. And what a first half we had. Pine City got out to the early lead. They were up about, 10-5, 10-3, something like that. And they saw their lead slowly drift away. Chisago Lakes got the lead. And then they traded it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Chisago Lakes had the lead with 5 seconds left. Sophie Lottie took it, top of the key for 3 with the buzzer beater to make it 32-31, a Pine City lead here at half. It was not the cleanest first half for either team, but for Pine City, it just feels like if they clean it up just a little bit, they are going to significantly improve here in the second half, and they are going to start to pull away slowly but surely in the second half, because they started to there in the first half, but we started to see some mistakes, some turnovers, some passes that got awry, but we got to, again, give credit to the Chisago Lakes defense. They're doing a good job of making sure that Pine City doesn't get any clean passes, and they're also making sure they don't get anything easy inside, and that's what Pine City loves to do. They love to get it to Jusac or Linda inside, and they made that hard, but Pine City has had a few too many turnovers, a couple of ill-advised passes that they've had, where you say to yourself, well, if they just would have held on to that one, or if they would have found a way out of that, it would have been a little bit different. But again, you got to give credit to the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, because they're doing a good job of making it hectic for Pine City on offense to find anything clean to do out there with the basketball. Pine City does lead 32-31. Ted Haas, the head coach for Pine City, a little bit frustrated there at the end of the first half, and I don't think it was with his team. It was with the refs. Chisago Lakes got away with a little bit of a stiff arm there at the end, and then their player made a 3, which last I checked, you can't stiff arm, but again, we give credit to the referees, because we can't do it without, if they don't show up to this game, we don't have a game to be played. So again, we thank the referees, but again, you're allowed to disagree. You just can't pick on them too much. And again, I do disagree with that call, because I mean, the Chisago Lakes Wildcats player, I mean, completely, it was a Heisman type stiff arm. If you see what the Heisman Trophy looks like, look at the Heisman Trophy. That's the kind of stiff arm it was. Wiley opened it up for 3, and then she hit the 3, and that's got to be frustrating for a coach. You say, hey, she wouldn't have made that 3 had she got that stiff arm if you would have called the foul. So, but it goes back and forth. Again, like our buddy Joe Lattimore says, it evens out at the end of the game. The fouls go both ways, basically, is what it means. Is, you'll get the calls to go your way during the game as well. So even though they might not have gone your way a lot here in the first half, they'll go your way in the second. It evens out. I love what Joe Lattimore, I love what he says there. It will even out, and it will. We see that. It happens in every game. It seems like, it's really lopsided calling one way, but eventually it all evens out for both sides. So this second half should be a fun one, I think, for Pine City here. Offensively, you just got to keep playing your offense. Got to slow things down a little bit. That's one thing I thought they did. I thought they played a little too fast there in the first half. Now, you can play with fast pace. That's totally fine, but I think when they get to the front court, they just got to settle it down a little bit, settle their nerves, and just look for the clean passing lanes. Because one of the things that we noticed here in the first half, was that Pine City didn't have a lot of clean passing lanes, and they were getting double teamed a lot. And what that did is led them to some ill-advised passes or even tough passes that they had to get off. And the Wildcats benefited off of those in terms of turnovers and/or steals. So Pine City's going to have to do a better job of just getting out of a little bit of double team trouble and try and get around that and pass the ball around. They're doing a good job passing the ball, but I think the passes, they're going to have to be a little bit quicker here in the second half. Otherwise, I think their offense is doing really well. They're doing what they love to do, working either Lind or Jusac inside, letting Lottie decide if she wants to drive it in or pull it out from 3. And man, she only hit 1 3 there in that first half. She attempted a few, and she gets upset with herself when she misses, because she expects nothing but the best from herself, and she's just a great competitor in that fact. But she hit that last 3, and I tell you what, as one of the senior leaders of this Pine City team, that is huge for this team. They are going to look at her and go, hey, nice shot, you did it. That's going to give them momentum going forward here in the second half. And again, they will look to Lottie again for another clutch shot like that. And again, we've heard Haas say it. When one of them is off a little bit, even in a game, if one of them is, we've seen it where they're all on, but if one of them is even off a little bit in this game, we've seen it where, Ted Haas says, the other players will pick them up, whether it's rebounding, giving them great assists, giving them the screen, giving them the shots, or just scoring themselves. This team complements each other really, really well, and I think that's what you need to do, especially going forward as we get closer and closer to section playoffs. So for Pine City, offensively, I think you're just going to have to be more careful with passing the ball. Make sure you don't get into too many double teams, as the Wildcats have capitalized turnover-wise off of those, and then also don't rush things. I think they're getting to the front court and wanting to shoot the ball right away or get off that quick shot. I think you got to settle things down just a little bit. It's okay to take time off the clock. You don't have to worry about the clock unless you're trailing, but I think for Pine City, they got to settle things down a little bit. Defensively, they got to find a way to cut off the lanes inside to the basket. The Wildcats made a living off of cutting inside to the basket, and Pine City also has to grab the defensive rebounds. They were not great at grabbing the defensive rebounds there in the first half, and they'll have to capitalize off those because they missed a lot of them, and they gave the Wildcats, second chance, third chance, fourth chance opportunities, and eventually they would score on those. So for Pine City, and they have to improve on the defensive rebounds, and I'm sure that's all the things, head coach Ted Haas has said, hey, we got to do better on this. But he is a great coach, and he does a great job of getting his team where they need to be, and I expect them to be ready here in this second half. Fouls-wise, they only had 3 in the first half, and for Wildcats, they only had 5 steals, though. Wildcats had 6, Pine City had 9. Leading scorer for the Wildcats was Erickson. She had 10. On the other side for the Dragons, it was Lind with 10. So we are set to start the second half. The Wildcats will go right to left on your radio dial. The Dragons left to right on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Customized Smile Journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. A 2 here early from Willie. And Lottie will go inside to Lind. Back it out to Lottie. Lottie a long 3. No good. And rebounded there by LSL. She'll give it to Jusak now on the far side for 3 from LSL. No good. Erickson will get the rebound. Again, the Dragons got to create themselves some second chance opportunities. Poked out. Oh! I think Lottie a little bit upset with that call. She poked the ball out, but they're going to get her for a foul. Be her second and the team's first here in the second half, so the Wildcats will get set to inbound. That one nearly stolen away, knocked away by Lind. She'll get it off now to Sufka. And now it's off on the far side here to Peterson. Peterson looks to drive inside. Now out to Willie. Willie's going to drive inside. Passes it back out to Peterson. Peterson left alone, but rebounded there by Jusak, and Jusak is going to get fouled. Is that on 23? Yes. So that's Peterson's third. That's tough. They're going to have to watch out. Lottie will just kind of walk it to the front court and now gets to the front court. Lottie look for a screen there from Thiemann. Now Thiemann will get it. Now to Jusak, inside to Lottie. Lottie trying to drive inside. Now out to LSL. LSL gives it to Thiemann. Thiemann gives it to Jusak. Jusak has to pull it down one-handed, trying to go inside, and Lottie is double-teamed, triple-teamed even. Inside, they're going to force it into her anyways. They trust her, and they get the foul call. So the second team foul for Chisago Lakes here in the second half, and the second on Brianna Willie. Minute and a half has gone off the clock. 2 points have been scored by the Wildcats, 33-32. Inbound here to Lind. Lind in some double team trouble. She'll dribble out of it, though. She'll circle out to the perimeter. She'll look to go inside to Lottie, and Lottie will get through a couple of hands and put it up and in for 2. 34-33. Willie got a nice opportunity. She'll drive inside, and she traveled. So just the turnover Pine City needed right there. And they'll get it back, 34-33. Lottie will give it off to Jusak. Jusak pauses. She wanted Sell, nearly stolen away. She'll go inside to Lottie. Lottie now to Lind. Lind will try to drive inside. She spins her way around. That one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Wildcats. It will stay with Pine City. Lottie will look to inbound. Tries to go underneath there to Thiemann, and unfortunately she couldn't grab it cleanly, and it'll go out of bounds off of the Dragons and go back to the Wildcats. I think one of the things that I didn't talk about was the fact that when Pine City did get a turnover, they didn't turn it into points, and that's something that they're going to have to do here a lot better in the second half. This ball, I'm going to respectfully disagree on that call, but Lind looked like she swatted away, but they're going to call the foul, and it will be on Pine City, and I believe Lind will be the guilty Dragon. She will. Second foul for her, and second team foul here in the second half. It's Barrett with it, and a 3 there. That is no good. Lind pokes it away and goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Wildcats. So the Wildcats will get set to inbound it once again. They've got everyone covered pretty well. They go to the top of the key here to Barrett. Barrett's going to drive inside. Pass is knocked away, but it's taken back. Oh, and then they left her alone, but no good. Jusak will get the rebound. Lottie's going to take it herself. No good on the shot, but she's fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. Third team foul here for Chisago Lakes. It's going to go on Stufka, her first. This one's up and good. And again, even though I disagreed with a couple of the calls there in the first half, it's been a pretty good, clean called game here by the referees. They've done a great job of calling it both ways, so give credit to them. Again, thanks, a huge shout out to them because, well, we really can't be here without them. So Lottie makes 1 of 2, though, on the free throws. It's 35-33. 15:05 to go. Willie will drive inside. Her shot is up and no good, and that one's going to go off of a Dragon. We'll stay with the Wildcats. Lottie in there trying to grab that rebound, but unable to. And so far, Dragons still haven't been able to grab the defensive rebounds. I'm sure like they would have liked to so far here in the second half, but they've got plenty of time. And Lottie tries to be aggressive there. She misses, and that shot is up no good. Jusak is going to grab the rebound. She will bring it up the court here for the Dragons. She pauses. She'll go inside to Lottie. Lottie finds a lane that she likes. No good. Lind for the rebound and up and in for 2. Lind and Jusak both had 6 there in the first half. Now Jusak with 9. Lind with 7. Willie will take it forward and I'll give it off here to Erickson, I think. 37-35. Sophie Lottie passes to Jusak. Jusak will pause. Give it off to Mallory Klepper on the far side. That's going to be no good. And going to be a foul here on Lind, unfortunately. That'll be her 3rd. So the rebound's not going the way of Pine City, not going the way they would like, and they're going to need those here in the second half. Oh, not ready for the pass, and somehow, again, everything's just going Wildcats' way right now. 3 from Willie. Rebound by Thiemann. They do get a rebound that time as Thiemann will drive in, give it off to Lottie. Lottie, nice move. She'll pull up from just beyond the, or just inside the free throw line. Puts it in for 2. 39-35. And they'll leave, what is that, Aldrich open and nearly stolen away by Lottie, but it gets to Sufka. Willie trying to drive inside. She loses the dribble. Ooh, it will stay with Chisago Lakes. They're going to say Klepper got a hand on it. Lottie will check into the game. That's Vivian Lottie, and subbing in for Chloe Lind. And checking in for the first time here tonight for Chisago Lakes is Hatu Killing. That shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Lottie. Lottie gives it off to Thiemann. Thiemann to Vivian Lottie. Now to Jusak. Inside to Lottie. That's going to go out of bounds off of a Wildcat, and it will stay with the Dragons. 13-12 to go here in the second half. 39-35 on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. They'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you, and if you don't have insurance, you ask about financing options, they'll find a plan to fit your budget at EmbraceMN.com. Jusak wanting to go inside to Lottie. She goes inside. That shot is no good. Killeen with the rebound. 39-35 with under 13 minutes to go now. Pass here to Erickson. She finds a lane. That one, ooh, gonna get a foul call, but I thought that was all ball. .23, that's going to be Vivian Lottie, her first, team's fourth. And that is Erickson at the free throw line. She makes her first. She makes her second. 39-37, under 13 minutes to go. Dragons with the lead. Lottie in a bit of trouble, and that's stolen away by Erickson, and that's a big one. It ties it. And again, it was just a pass that double team Lottie just couldn't get herself really out of and turned into some trouble. And the turnovers, again, that's been the key thing. Chisago Lakes has turned the ball over and scored off of them. Pine City has not. Jusak inside. Her shot's up and in for two. .41-39. Looks like we're going to get a foul here on Pine City. We go against Vivian Lottie. Her second, team's fifth. No, they called 12. So apparently they got Jusak for it. Lynn will check in for Mallory Klepper, and Vivian Lottie checks out. In for her is Ella Sell. 41-39. 10 to go. Peterson gives it off to Barrett. Barrett tries to drive in. She'll give it back to Pierre. That is Peterson. Couldn't tell if that was Peterson or Erickson. I apologize. And now into that far side corner. And three there is no good. Jusak will bring down the rebound. Give her a double-double on the evening. Lottie to Jusak for three. No good off the front of the rim. But luckily, that one rolls to LSL for two, or for the rebound, and then inside for two for Chloe Lind. Great job there to open Lind up underneath for that shot. Quickly up the court go the Wildcats, and Peterson brings in the pass. That was a tough one to bring in, and they get her for the travel. Almost traveled on before she dribbled it, and then she dribbled it once, picked up her feet, and traveled. So can the Dragons score off that turnover now? That'll be key to see if they can do that, because that's something they haven't been able to do much here in this game. They'll go inside to Lind. She's been all night in there doing so well. She gets the basket to drop plus the and one. And that foul going to go against Killeen. It'll be 45-39, and Lind at the line for the possible three-point play. Shot is up and good. So Lind with the three-point play. 46-39. Willie will give it back to Erickson. Erickson, shot no good. It's Lottie with the rebound. Lottie up the court. She'll go inside. It was tipped, but got to Jusak still for two. 48-39, the Dragons with the lead here on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. EmbraceMN.com. Pine City has a 48-39 lead now. Trying to continue and do what they're doing here in the second half. By the way, over in that Mora game, that Mora boys game against Malacca, that's a big one. Those two are conference rivals, and Malacca, I believe, is 4th or 5th in that section right now. Mora is 2nd, but at half, it's 30-29 Malacca. We knew this was going to be a good one. That's why we got out there, and Malacca is up over Mora right now in that boys basketball game, 30-29. Of course, that's over on 95.5 FM with Adam Hefty on the call, thanks to him. And, of course, he does a good job, and he'll be there for both games. He'll be there for the boys and girls game, and we'll be here for both games as well. The Wildcats have it. Willie, she goes inside to Colleen. He gets away from her, and putting it up and in for two, I believe, is Erickson. Lottie has it now. She'll give it off to Jusak all the way across to Thiemann, now to Lottie. Lottie goes inside to Lind, back outside to Jusak. She's left wide open for three! Jusak for three. She has a double-double on the evening. Her team leads 51-41. The steal there by LSL. She'll get it to Summer Thiemann. That pass, rather, is knocked away. Now goes inside to Jusak, and she put it up for two, but a timeout before that called by Haas. He just wanted to make sure that Thiemann didn't get into any bigger trouble. She was guarded well by the Wildcat players, and he didn't want to have her dribble on line or step on line. So in order to protect this lead and protect Thiemann from getting a steal or trying to get it out of there without creating a turnover, calls a timeout. That'll be their second. They'll be left with three. Great timeout there by head coach Ted Haas. Wildcats make their way back out onto the court as well. 10:05 to go here in the second half. Lottie will get set to inbound. She does to Lind. She fakes the pass to Lottie. Now to Sell. Now to Lottie. Lottie to Jusak. Jusak goes inside to Lind. Lind battling inside. Will they count the basket, or did that come before? Basket is good. Colleen with her second, and the basket is good from Lind for the possible now three-point play. This one is up and good. Three-point play there from Lind to make it 54-41. And it's Barrett, nearly had it stolen away, but she gets it to Erickson. Erickson has been a problem here tonight. This one's stolen away by Lottie. She'll take it to the basket. Her shot is up and no good. And great sportsmanship there by Erickson. She went immediately to go help up Lottie, and they've done that all night. Both these teams, whether it's a strong foul or they fall hard, they're helping each other up, and you love to see that. This one's up, no good from Lottie. Lottie looks to the bench area, says, how did I miss that? It's all right. Got another one to shoot. Meanwhile, Thiemann will travel back. This one is no good as well, but Lind is right there for the rebound. She'll give it off to Sell. Sell goes inside to Lottie. Lottie trying to spin around and make a play happen. She'll try to give it underneath to Lind. Now back outside to LSL for three. It's going to come up just short. Rebounded there by Erickson. She'll give it off on the far side. I believe that's Peterson. Oh, they're going to get her for a travel. So a travel call there on the Wildcats, and the ball will go back to Pine City. And it'll be key for them to, again, score off of these turnovers. Something they really had a tough time doing there in the first half. But they've so far done a better job in the second. Jusak will get the pass inside from LSL to put it up and in for two. Great job there by Sell to find that pass, and then Jusak to bring it down. Willie, she's been very good all night as well, and she finds a lane. She drives. Shot is up, no good, and rebound still up for grabs. It's Lottie with the rebound to, nice job by LSL to keep her foot in bounds. Now outside to Jusak for three on the near side. Elbow! Wow. Talk about anxiety there. Sell got the pass from Lati, who stole it. Or got the rebound, excuse me. And then now a steal from Jusak. She'll give it up to Lind. Lind, near side, spins, lost the ball, gives it to Sell. Now to Jusak, now over to Summer Thiemann. Thiemann for three! Summer Thiemann from three. 62-41, and ooh, nice job, Willie. Grabbed that one before it traveled out of bounds. Now to Sufka. Sufka gets her pass to Peterson. To Erickson. Erickson's been a problem inside. Oh, and Summer Thiemann, she saw that one, read it like a book. She steals it. She'll give it off to Lati. Ooh, Lati had that one slapped out by Willie. You could hear the slap on the ball. And that was all ball that time. That was all ball. And Willie's done a good job tonight of that. She's done a great job of knocking the ball out or getting her hands on the ball without creating contact. She's done a great job of that tonight. With that one, you could hear the smack on the ball. That is the 7th team foul there for the Wildcats, and it will send Lati to the line for a 1-and-1. She does make the first. And she'll make the second one as well. So Willie will take it to the front court for the Wildcats. She'll give it off now to Peterson. Back to Willie. Willie will try and go all the way across the court, but that one's too much as Lynn will tap it down and bring it in for the steal. Now gives it off to Lati, who nice move. Gives it off, and Lati for two, and a timeout called here by Chisago Lakes. And they'll call the timeout. Lynn with the steal. That pass was just a little too far for Willie, I think. I thought it was a little bit of an ill-advised pass, way too far across the court. Lynn went up, swatted it down, brought it in for the steal, quickly brought it up the court, and then a beautiful pass inside to Sophie Lati to get her for two. 66-41, the Dragons lead. Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. Dr. Sievers, he's committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at EmbraceMN.com. I shouldn't say he. I don't know if that's a man or a woman, so I shouldn't say he. I should say Dr. Sievers. 66-41 is the lead here for Pine City. And again, one thing that we've seen them improve on here in the second half is 1, turnovers, and 2, creating points off those turnovers. They didn't really get the points off the turnovers they would like there in the first half, but now they're starting to create the points off the turnovers here in half number 2, and that is exactly what they needed. And I talked about that a little bit. I thought, you know, if they could really create points off turnovers and, you know, make the most of it, that they would eventually start to pull away. And now you can see that they are starting to pull away a little bit. But as again, even though it's a 25-point lead, it doesn't feel like a 25-point lead at all. It feels like a couple possession game. It just Chisago Lakes has been that good tonight. Barrett with it. Should give it off to Sufka. Now to Willie. Willie will give it off to Barrett once again. Back to Willie. Willie inside to Erickson, and Erickson again has done a great job all night. That one swatted away, stolen by Jusak. That was swatted away by Lind. Going inside to Jusak. She has to pull that one down at an awkward angle. Rebound up for grabs. Lind brings it down. Out to Summer Thiemann for 3. No good. Lind another rebound. Lind puts it up and in for 2. Lynn she just fights. She knows what position to put herself in. She just puts herself in a great position and fights so hard to get that rebound. She basically has in her head and says, hey, no one's getting this rebound but me. And she does a great job. Oh, this ill-advised pass. Trying to get it to Aldrich. I understand the pass just a little too far out in front of the intended Aldrich that time. And it was a good idea, just a little too far out in front. Hilber will check back into the game for Chisago Lake. She's a good presence down inside. She got a couple of rebounds and a couple of points there. Did a very good job in that first half, and won't be surprised if they use her the same way in the second half as Sophie Lati goes inside to Lind, and again up and in for 2. That's what they love to do. That's their bread and butter. 70-41, Dragons with the lead. It's Sufka. And a race for the the pass. And the Wildcats will get it, but they step out of bounds. That ball's knocked out of bounds by Willie. It will stay with the Dragons, and Willie again. Referee telling her something, maybe to, I don't know. I thought that was just a clean play by Willie. Can't imagine she did anything real wrong. Either way, it does get inbounded, and now LSL will take a shot from three. Ella 3 for 3, or LSL for 3. Ella 3. I mean, she's good at threes. Might have to change her last name, but LSL is her last name. 4-3. She wears number 3. And a smart shot there from Aldrich for 2. That's just a smart shot from her. She was left wide open, and she puts it up and in for 2. Oh, Jusak gets it to a wide open Lind inside. I mean, that way you can't be any more open than that. 75-43, under 5.5 to go. Pass to Aldrich, it goes, and Willie pulls it down with her fingertips. She'll bring it, loses her dribble, gives it back. Oh, she thought her teammate was there, but she wasn't. Now it's to LSL. LSL will go up, put it up and in for 2. LSL, she don't care. She's going to drive to the basket. She has that mentality of, I'm going to do it. That shot is blocked by Carly Jusak, and she gets the steal. She'll bring it up, give it off to LSL. Now to Sophie Lati, who's left alone for 3. That's good! 80-43. We're going to get a timeout called here by Chisago Lakes, and all of a sudden, Pine City has finally found their rhythm and their momentum. Sophie Lati comes off to the bench area with a big old smile on her face. She feels good after hitting that one. Love to see that. Sophie Lati, a huge 3 there. Makes it 80-43. And again, she just comes off the court with a big old smile on her face. You love to see players who are smiling and happy and can have fun and joke around. So the Dragons with an 80-43 lead right now. But again, it's been such a back and forth game that it feels as if Chisago Lakes could go on some type of run and close this gap. I mean, that's just the way Chisago Lakes has played tonight. Even though Pine City has momentum, it was kind of the way the first half started. Pine City had all momentum, and then all of a sudden Wildcats came back, took a lead, and didn't look back until that last shot of the second half where Sophie Lati hit it on a buzzer beater from 3 to give her team the 32-31 lead, and that definitely gave them momentum here in the second half. And now they lead 80-43, 4:45 to go. Going to be Willie who will take it up the court here for the Wildcats, trying to get around Thiemann. She'll give it off now to Barrett. Barrett tries to drive inside. She'll give it to Hilber. Hilber, she looks, trying to drive inside. Looks like Pine City's going to have most of their JV out there. As we do have Metling, Paige Gray, Mallory Klepper, and Vivian Lati out there. This pass to Aldrich. It's blocked, knocked away, stolen away by Paige Gray. So give her a steal. And double teamed is Thiemann. She'll get it off to Metling. Metling drives inside. She gets the roll in for 2. Nice shot there by Piper Metling to make it 82-43. Under 4 minutes to go. The 3 from Hilber is just off the mark. Vivian Lati waiting for the rebound. It falls right to her. Dragons bring it up the court. Lati goes inside to Thiemann, but it's knocked out of bounds by the Wildcats. So it will stay with the Dragons. Vivian Lati will get set to inbound. She tries, but it is knocked away, stolen away there by Barrett, and now stolen right back by Piper Metling. She'll give it off to Mallory Klepper. Klepper over to Vivian Lati. Back to Metling. Now to Gray. Gray trying to go inside to Metling. It's knocked out of bounds by the Wildcats. We do have running clock. With now under 3 minutes to go, we will see probably, looks like the rest of the bench players for Chisago Lakes. We got 41, it looks like. 34, I think. Lottie will inbound here to Metling, and now she'll give it back to Vivian Lottie, and Lottie did not have her heel off that baseline. I was kind of wondering if she did. It was close, but she was not in all the way. So a turnover here. We'll go and give the ball back to Chisago Lakes. Wildcats have it, and we're going to get a double dribble here on Wildcats. It'll be a turnover and go back to the Dragons. Clock continues to run under 2 minutes. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. Also, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Summer Thiemann has it. She looks to drive. She'll give it off to Vivian Lottie. Now Lottie to Metling. Metling back to Thiemann. Thiemann will drive inside, put up a hook shot. It's no good. That rebound there. Can't quite see the number. I think that's 34, Sydney Mackey. No, it's 41. Abigail Smith. We'll see a foul here on Summer Thiemann, her first, team's sixth. And getting set to inbound it is Sydney Mackey. Nearly poked out and stolen by Vivian Lottie, but Wildcats hold on to it. It's Mackey who gives it off here to number 4. I'll try and find her name. Killeen, by the way, puts it up. No good. And Killeen keeps it alive to Smith. That's no good. And that ball still flying around. Metling will bring down the rebound. She'll give it up to Summer Thiemann, who is up and in for 2. I do not have a number 4 on my roster for Chisago Lakes, so I apologize. There is no number 4 on the roster. Under 30 seconds to go. It's 84-43, Pine City with the lead. Killeen gets the pass inside, trying to work herself around Gray. She gets it up and in for 2, does Killeen. 84-45, and the Dragons will probably bring it to the front court, and that should probably do it here in this one. They will, and they'll just continue to dribble this ball around with 6 seconds to go, now 5, and that will do it. So the Dragons get the victory here, 84-45, and the Dragons, a great second half, propels them to an 84-45 victory over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. It was a tale of two halves as they clear the scoreboard. Darn near before I can get a picture. 84-45. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have our A&W Player of the Game, as well as a word from head coach Ted Haas.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us, so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Ice Santee has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Ice Santee. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, we're now joined by our A&W Player of the Game, Piper Metling. First of all, Piper, congratulations on being our A&W Player of the Game.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and this was a fun one. It was kind of a tale of two halves here in this one. What was the message at halftime from Coach Ted Haas?
It was to pick it up, and we could hear the other team celebrating the locker room. We're we want to be the ones to celebrate at the end. So the team really pulled through and did that.
And how big was that last second shot before half from Sophie Lati? Did that guy give you guys motivation?
It was incredible. She's really good at beating those buzzer beaters. So it really gave us the motivation and gave us the lead. So it helped.
And how was it to play out there against a bigger school and get that experience against this kind of team?
It's good. It's building us up for the future, and it's really going to help us in the end.
Absolutely. Now you finish up next week with two more games at home. What does that mean to finish up the season at home for you?
It's really good to have our fans and our supporters here, so we're glad for that.
All right, well, congratulations on the win, and thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
That, again, was Piper Metling, our A&W Player of the Game. Thanks so much to her for joining us here, our A&W Player of the Game. And yeah, this was a tough one there in that first half. It didn't go Pine City's way like they would have liked it to, but they did. They fought hard. And Metling, again, she's one of those where she will come off the bench and she may not get the stats a lot, but she does a great job of doing her job and doing it well. She finishes with 2 points, a rebound, and a block in this game, plus a couple of rebounds. So she did a great job here in this game for her team of just doing her job. Again, not a part of the starting lineup tonight, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't play an important role in the game for this Dragons girls basketball team. She does a great job here doing it. Absolutely. Congrats. And I just had the big three come up to me and give it an old fist bump, and they did a great job here this evening. Again, a tale of two halves here for Pine City, but again, we heard from Piper Metling that last second three-point shot from Sophie Lati really gave them motivation. And I can't imagine hearing the team celebrate on the other side of the locker room and thinking to yourselves, man, this is our house. Why are they so happy to be here? They should be wondering what they got to do to get the victory. But celebrating like that, I think that does give you motivation, and I'm sure that gave them a ton of motivation. So again, Piper Metling, thanks so much for coming up, our A&W Player of the Game. Again, she may not get all the stats a lot of the times because, again, it's Lati, Lind, Jusak, LSL even does it. But when she's out there, she just does her job so well. She does it to a T. I mean, she does everything right. She didn't even get a foul in this game. Again, 2 points, a rebound, a block, and just an incredible night here for Pine City. And again, thanks to Piper Metling for joining us, our A&W Player of the Game. I can't emphasize enough how, even though she may not get those gaudy stats on the stat sheet here tonight, this is just helping her for next year. And she'll come in whenever they get their first substitution. She's usually one of the first ones that gets subbed in for Pine City, and she comes in and she just does her job, whether it's passing, setting the screens, rebounding, running the floor, shooting the ball. She does everything so well. She does her job, and I can't wait to see her next year come back and play for this Dragons team. As you heard, it's going to help them going forward playing against these bigger teams, as she is only going to be a junior next year. So she's got a couple more years, and I'm sure she'll be one of the senior leaders come 2024. I apologize. It'll be 2024 when she'd be a senior in basketball. The 2025-2026 season, that is crazy to think about. But again, congratulations to Pine City on their victory here this evening over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. It is a 84-45 victory. What a tale of two halves. Pine City struggled there in the first half to really get anything going, and the turnovers were a huge part of why they couldn't. And also, when they did get a turnover, they didn't capitalize off it. But then here in the second half, they really started to capitalize off of those turnovers and started to get things going their way. And I think that's really why they started to switch things, and that's why you could see them start to fall into that rhythm, so to speak, and start to get everything to go their way. And you can just tell when they're starting to get into a rhythm, they're starting to heat up, and all of a sudden, everything seems to fall their way. We will shortly be joined by the girls basketball head coach Ted Haas. And Coach Haas, first of all, congrats on the win.
Thank you very much. It was fun after a while anyway.
Absolutely. Kind of a tale of two halves here. That first half, a little bit back and forth. It looked like the turnovers were kind of becoming a problem there in the first half.
Yeah, we were a little out of sync, and I'm not quite sure why. Might have to do something with, playing last night, but, you don't want to make excuses. I don't know. For whatever reason, we just could not get it going, and so we kind of refocused at halftime and talked about the things that we do well and that we needed to start doing them.
Absolutely. And that last second shot there from Sophie Lottie, how big was that for this team?
It was big. It's a whole mental lift when you go in ahead instead of behind. That we won the half because of that, so it made a big difference. It gave us some momentum going forward, and after a couple minutes in the second half, we really got her going.
Absolutely. And what was your message to the team at half?
Well, we said, the coaching staff talked right before we talked to the kids, and the word lethargic came up a little bit. And, you don't want to take anything away from what Chisago was able to do. I thought they hustled and played hard, in that first half, and gave us some problems. But, for whatever reason, third game of the week, and it just took us a little bit to get on track a little bit. We just were not sharp for that first half for the most part.
Right, and again, tale two halves. You held them to 14 points here in the second half, and you could just kind of tell after a while this team kind of fell into a rhythm, and that's when really everything seemed to fall their way.
Well, and I think part of it too we press a lot, and it kind of wore them down a little bit. It kind of you put pressure on, they break it, but then after a while, it just gets to be draining that you have to deal with that every single time up and down the court. So we feel like that's a strength for us, and in the second half, you start seeing more, creating more turnovers. At least that's the theory.
Right. So. And it looked like in the first half you did create some turnovers, but I thought in the second half it was more scoring off of those turnovers that really helped this team.
Well, we talked about at halftime that our spacing wasn't very good, and when we were attacking, we just didn't have space to do things. We didn't have people spotted up in the corners where we normally do, and then when that happens, there's nowhere to go in the lane if people aren't spread. I mean, the whole basketball offense is all about spacing, and once we kind of figured that out a little bit, we started making some shots too. It just flows that way.
Absolutely, and you'll wrap up the season next week with 2 games at home. What does that mean for this team to be able to wrap up the season in front of their home fans?
I think it'll be a lot of fun for the girls. We've been road warriors this year. We played 16 games on the road, and some of that is because we wanted to play the toughest competition that we possibly could, and I think people are starting to see that it's paying off for us, and it's we have a nice record, but we'll take some losses if it's going to make us better for the playoffs. And I think the kids are starting to click a little bit and see what they can do, especially the way we played in the second half. We're pretty tough to beat when we play like that.
Absolutely, and you'll have another 3A school in Cloquet at the beginning of the week, and then finish up with a section opponent, and that should be fun because Malacca, I believe it was last year, knocked you out of the playoffs. So talk about those two matchups.
Yep. Well, Cloquet is a very strong 3A school. Their record is about 15-8. They play a great schedule. That's going to be a major challenge for us. They have a couple of really good, strong players, so we're excited for that one. That's going to be a great game to have a week and a half before playoffs because it's going to be a playoff-like game. And then Malacca, I've heard some bad news lately that one of their players might have gotten injured, which I feel really bad about if that's the case. So they might be a little bit short-handed, but they're a team that battles all the time. So we're going to, prepare for them like they're 100%, and who knows what will happen when it's a section battle and one of the teams that we play quite often, and we know each other. So.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining me, and good luck going forward.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That, again, was head coach Ted Haas. Thanks so much to him for joining us. And, again, the Dragons get the victory here this evening over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 84-45. Looking at the stat leaders here for both sides, starting with the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, it was Emily Erickson who led the team with 18, 7 for both Willie and Aldrich, then 4 for Barrett and Hilber, 3 for Sufka, and 2 for Killeen. 5 rebounds for Erickson. That led the team, 4 for Sufka. They had 6 steals there in the first half. That was drained down to 2 in the second half, which is a total of 8. They had about 7 second half fouls and 5 in the first half. That's enough for 12 total. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, leading the way was Chloe Lynn. 26 points here. She had 10 in the first half, 16 in the second. 21 for Carly Jusak, 20 for Sophie Lottie, 8 for LSL, 7 for Summer Thiemann, and again, 2 for Piper Metling. But again, she does such good work. She does her job to a T when she is out there, and you got to commend her. Both Jusak and Lynn both had a double-double with 10 rebounds each, 7 for Sophie Lottie. They had 19 total steals here in this game. That's just steals, not turnovers. 19 total steals, 9 in the first half, 10 in the second half. 6 steals for both Jusak and Lottie here in this game. And then Jusak had 2 steals. She had 3 last night. I mean, she has become a blocking machine. And that will be huge come playoff time, because when you're missing shots or you're not getting things to follow, the other team is just seemingly shooting at will. When you get a block on a shot, not only does that block their shot, but it also gives your team momentum, because then your team goes, ooh, we just blocked a shot. Let's go. Let's get things going. So for her, I think that'll be a huge thing to look at going forward. Metling also had a block in this game, along with Chloe Lind and Summer Thiemann. They had a total of 5 blocks in this game. 10 total team fouls, 3 in the first half, 7 here in the second half. It really was a tale of 2 halves here in this game for the Pine City Dragons girls basketball team. In the first half, they struggled. They couldn't really get things going, and you heard Coach Ted Haas, they couldn't seem to get into that rhythm. They just seemed a little bit off in that first half. They really couldn't figure out why, and then after that half, I think a huge momentum lifter was the fact that Sophie Lottie hit that buzzer beater 3 to get them up 32-31 to go into half. And I think, again, that is so important. And you've heard Coach Ted Haas talk about it. I'll talk about it as well. Going up at half, whether it's 1 point, 2 points, 20 points, it doesn't matter. If you are up at half, that helps your team feel so much better. I don't want to say comfortable, because I don't think you can ever be comfortable going into half with any sort of lead. You have to continue to build off it, but that helps your team feel a lot better about their chances going into the second half of being up. Even though it's only 1 point, that certainly helped Pine City gain some momentum again here in the second half. The second half didn't start great, but they slowly got things going, and then when they got things going, man, it fell into a groove, and they just took off. It's like finding your line in racing. You're out of sorts going through the first half of the race, then all of a sudden you find your line, and all of a sudden you are just gone. And that's kind of what it was here for Pine City tonight. They hold the Chisago Lakes to 14 second half points. They allowed them 31 in the first half. They literally cut their points over in half, did the Pine City Dragons. So again, they held them to 14 points in that second half, did Pine City, and if that doesn't tell you how Pine City, how they can change at halves, or what momentum can do, well, it should now. So Pine City does get the victory, 84-45. Looking at their schedule, again, they move to 18-6. They got a chance to end the season with 20 wins, but it is not going to be easy. They will host Cloquet on Monday, a 3A school, very good 3A school, and then they will host Malacca on Thursday to wrap up the season, a section opponent. By the way, Cloquet is a top 20 school in Class 3A, so Cloquet and then Malacca on Thursday, that's a section opponent again. That will be a very tough one. Again, as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs, stay tuned to our websites and to the radio, as we will keep you up to date as to who will play where and when, and we will let you know where Pine City will wind up playing. But of course, we got to get through those last 2 games, and of course, we'll be at those ones as well. We'll be there on Monday as well as we will be there on Thursday for their season finale. So for the Pine City Dragons, again, it's a win, and they will move on to Monday. We will now get ready to move on to our second game of this doubleheader. The boys will get ready to play. Here in this game, they will play Spectrum here in just a little bit. I am thinking we'll get our warm-up started really soon. It is 7 o'clock, so I'm thinking we'll get our pregame warm-up starting in a couple of minutes. We'll kind of preview that game, but we'll first take a commercial break to hear a word from our fine sponsors. And then, of course, when we come back, we'll preview the game upcoming against the Pine City Dragons boys basketball team and the Spectrum Sting. Well, again, the final here for the girls basketball game. The Dragons 84, Chisago Lakes 45. We'll take a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll be ready to preview the boys basketball game
Chad
against
Greenway.
Spectrum.
When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getthere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Ice Santee has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Ice Santee. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getthere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Well, the pregame warm-up clock has began to run, and I don't see either team out here, so either the clock has run prematurely or both these teams are a little late getting out onto the court. Nope, there we go. So they have reset the clock, so the clock ran a little bit prematurely. So we will not be getting to action quite yet here in the boys' game, but I do want to mention that over in the Mora-Malacca game, in the boys' game against Malacca gets the upset over Mora, 65-52. That will shake up the Section 6 AA standings in which Mora, Malacca, and Pine City all play in, along with Rush City. That will shake up the standings just a little bit. So a big upset there for Malacca. And the Malacca Wolves have kind of hit their stride as of late. So the Malacca Wolves are not backing down. They're fifth in Section 6 AA. And they are 10-2 though in that section. So as we look at it, they're 16-5 on the year, but they're 10-2 in the section. Now move to 11-2. Mora going into that game was 6-2 in the section. Now they'll go to 6-3. So Mora drops to 17-4 on the year. Malacca will improve to 17-5. So a big win there for Malacca. A huge upset as well. And that'll shake up the standings a little bit. That could push Malacca as high up as possibly 3, maybe even switch. I don't know if they'll switch with Malacca quite yet, or Mora, I should say, quite yet. But I think Mora will hold on to that number 2 spot for now. But those two teams, I knew that was going to be a good battle, but Malacca comes away with the upset victory, 65-52 over Mora. If you're not sure what game I'm talking about, head on over to 95.5 FM. Adam Hefty is on the call in that game. That's a doubleheader as well, so now the boys' game is ended. The girls' game will begin shortly over there at Mora High School between the Mora Mustangs and the Malacca Wolves. Our game, it's going to get off to a little bit of a late start. 7:15 not going to be the starting time if you or anyone you know is looking for that game, for the boys' basketball game against Spectrum. Warm-ups have not started yet. The teams are not out onto the court. We were hoping for a 7:15 start. That is not going to be the case, as now Spectrum is out onto the court. So Spectrum's out on the court, and I'm sure we will see Pine City shortly follow. And there they are. So just as I say we're not set to start yet, well, then there they come. So here come the Dragons. And the Dragons are out onto the court, and the warm-up clock is now not started on time. It started prematurely, and now it got late. There we go. We'll get it all figured out. We got it all figured out. The Dragons and Spectrum Sting 20 minutes away from tip-off here in this boys basketball game. Do have I don't know if it's breaking news, but a little bit of injury news for the Pine City Dragons. Mason Charles, unfortunately for Pine City, will not be playing tonight. He is on, I saw him walking around earlier on crutches, so hopefully it's nothing super serious, and it's more or less of a sprain where they want to keep him off the ankle, and he'll be able to be back in time for playoffs. That's a big loss for Pine City. He is a big-time rebounder. He shoots the three really well, as does that entire Pine City boys basketball team. So for Pine City, that'd be a huge loss if he was not able to make it back for playoffs. But either way, they will find their next man up. So we have the Spectrum Sting and the Pine City Dragons coming up shortly. We're about 19 minutes away from the start of this game in this Section 6 AA matchup between the Pine City Dragons and the Spectrum Sting in this boys basketball game. We'll take another break and hear a word from our fine sponsors, and then I'll give you a look at these two teams and a preview of this matchup here on 106.5 FM WCMP.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us, so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal housing lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Back here on 106.5 FM AM 1350, the Pine City Dragons boys basketball team getting set to take on the Spectrum Sting in the second game of our doubleheader here at Pine City High School. The first one saw the Pine City Dragon girls basketball team get the victory over Chisago Lakes, 84-45. And now as we head into this boys basketball game between the Dragons and the Sting, we look at the section standings in Section 6AA. Spectrum is ranked 9th, Pine City 11th. Spectrum with a 17-5 record, but that is kind of it's a tough one to look at because they haven't played an extremely tough schedule. It hasn't been a super strong schedule for Spectrum. The tough teams they have played is Malacca, Annandale, Melrose, Litchfield, St. Cloud Cathedral. Those are tough teams, but then they played a lot of Christian academies, which just because they play Christian academies doesn't mean the Christian academies are bad teams. We have plenty of Christian academies here, or academies in general, in the state of Minnesota that are very, very talented, but the teams that they have played just haven't provided the toughest of competition. So, but nonetheless, they are 17-5, and they come into this game on a bit of a win streak, you could call it. As we look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 game win streak coming in to tonight's game. So they've won 15 straight. They're 14-0 winners of their section. That is the MN Classical Athletic Association, more or less a section less or a conference. So they've won that. But, I mean, man, oh, man. 15-game win streak here for Spectrum. And they're looking to put that on the line tonight against Pine City. And the Spectrum Sting, as we take a closer look at this team, they started out the season, of course, 2-5, and then went on a 15-game win streak. But they score about 73 points per game, give up about 60. They're ranked 9th. And they are 3-10 in their section, though, and that is a big reason why. Or not 3-10, they're 3-4. 3-10, my goodness, 3-4 in the section. That's kind of a reason why they're ranked 9th here, and they would have a road game in the first round of the playoffs, much like Pine City, who is ranked 11th in the section. They are 3-2 in section play, 12-10 on the year. They score about 64 points per game, give up about 58 points per game. As we take a look at the Pine City Dragons, they're 9-2 in the conference, but I believe, if I remember correctly, East Central did take the conference. They started out, it was a tough start to the season, and it was one where I think head coach Ted Haas, now I'm off the girls' game, trying to get off that game. Head coach Kyle Allen said he had never started 0-3 in his career, and that was the first 0-3 start they had, but it was losses to Paynesville, East Central, North Branch. Then they went on a 3-game win streak against Mesabi, East Cloquet, and Rush City, and since then it has been a little back and forth, but they were at one point on a nasty tear of winning 5 games straight against Mille Lacs, Hinckley, Finlayson, Maple Lake, Bram, and Rush City before falling twice to Hiawatha Collegiate and East Central. Then they beat Mille Lacs, fell to St. Francis, beat Bram, fell to Malacca, beat Ogilvie, and now they are back at home to take on Spectrum here this evening. Next week, on Tuesday, it's the one that everyone's looking forward to. Pine City hosting Mora. That's been a rivalry game for years, but it's been a very fun and entertaining matchup between those two basketball teams here the last couple of years, and it should be another good one here next Tuesday as Mora fell tonight in a section and conference game against Malacca. So that'll be interesting to see how Mora comes out next Tuesday as they play here in Pine City against the Dragons. That will be a fun one. But here to finish out the season for Pine City on Thursday next week, they'll go up to Hinckley Finlayson, and then on Tuesday, February 28th, they'll wrap up their season at home against Esco. In their game here tonight, should be a good one. It'll be interesting. I don't know what to think of Spectrum, as they haven't played the toughest of schedules. Pine City has had a pretty darn tough schedule. So I'll be interested to see. I think the first couple minutes of this game are really going to dictate how this game goes throughout the entirety of the matchup. And it'll be interesting to see how these two teams play. Of course, again, Pine City without Mason Charles, so that's going to change things a little bit. And Spectrum apparently only has 7 players on the roster. Yeah, 7 players on the roster, and 4 of them are seniors. They have a lot more than that warming up, for darn sure, but they've only got 7 on the roster, so very interesting to see. Hopefully no one subs in that I don't have on the roster, but that's all that they have. So maybe that's all that they do sub in. They only sub in 2, which would be very interesting to see how that will work going forward, because Pine City, they sub in 9 to 10 players, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out here tonight between these two teams, because again, Pine City looking to get their second win in a row, move to 13-10, and help their section standings. As this is a conference game, they'll play their last, or I said conference, it's a section game. They'll play their last section game on Tuesday against Mora here at home. So 2 back-to-back section games, 2 very important section games, as a win here tonight and a win on Tuesday would certainly help improve their section standings. They're ranked 11th. I think you have to be 8 to get a home game. Back-to-back wins tonight and Tuesday, that would probably be enough to push them into that top 8 spot to get a home playoff game. So it'll be interesting to see. Otherwise, as the 11th seed, we'll go and check out the section bracket, which their playoffs begin March 9th. And as the 11th seed, they would play against the 6th seed. And as we take a look at the seedings here in Section 6 AA, they would play against Sauk Center. So if they were to stay where they're at, they would play against Sauk Center. But if they win here tonight, that'll certainly push them ahead. Probably over Foley, I would guess. Maybe even over Spectrum. So with a win, they could move up to 10 or 9. And still, with that, they would still be on the road If they were to move up to 10th, they would play against the 7th team, which would be Annandale. And if they were to move up to that 9th seed, they would play against the 8th seed. And as we take a look, the 8th seed is Melrose. So, either way, they could be on the road no matter what. But if they win both these games tonight and next Tuesday, they could move up into 8. So we'll have to wait and see. Pre-game festivities are over. We'll get our starting lineups here. We'll be right back after a short break.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Ice Santee has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Ice Santee. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350. The site for tonight's Dragons boys basketball game. It was a doubleheader in the first game. The girls beat the Chisago Lakes Wildcats 84-45. And in this boys game, it'll be the Pine City Dragons taking on the Spectrum Sting. They are introducing their junior Dragons here before we get our starting lineups. Gym is pretty darn full. It was pretty full for the girls game, but here in the boys game, it's filled up just a little bit more. So grateful for all these fans making the trip from both teams. So now taking a look at your starting lineups to the Spectrum Sting, head coached by Tom Turhar. Their starting lineups will be number 4, Will Lawrence, number 10, Jonathan Gregg, number 21, Noah Miller, 24, Blake Femright, and number 25, Ethan Milkey. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, head coached by Kyle Allen, it'll be number 11, Ashton Seals, number 14, Isaiah Haas, number 23, Luke Wilson, number 24, Lamont Sidney, and number 32, Riley Cummings. The Spectrum wearing their white away uniforms, the dark green, forest green maybe you want to call it, numbers and letters. Pine City Dragons wearing their green home uniforms with their white letters and numbers outlined in black and their white stripe down the side of the jersey and shorts. Just about set for tip-off here in this game. Again, staying on a 15-game win streak, but not sure what to think of that 15-game win streak, as we'll find out here in the first couple minutes of this game. Pine City 12-10 on the season, trying to get another section win. This will be a huge one. And hopefully help improve their standings. Again, the Dragons will be without Mason Charles, as he is on the sideline, or on the bench area, I should say. It'll be Sidney and Miller getting set for tip-off here at center court. 18 minutes on that Embrace Orthodontics score. Embrace Orthodontics. Custom braces, or 3 locations. Pine City, Instrument, Cambridge. Tip-off is won by Spectrum. Now on the far side, it's Lawrence who gets it off here to Miller. Miller trying to drive inside, gives it off far side to Lawrence. Lawrence looking to drive inside, gives it off to Milkey. Milkey pull up a shot and drops it through for 2. Early 2. And back the other way come the Dragons. Luke Wilson on the far side gets around 1. Driving inside, now he'll give it off to Haas. Haas to Wilson. Wilson gets a screen from Cummings. Wilson looks to drive inside, gives it out to Ashton Seals. Now to Luke Wilson. Mishandles it, but brings it back down. Wilson looking to drive inside. He'll put up a shot that drops through for Luke Wilson. It was a little bit of an awkward one, but it still fell through, and now coming back the other way. Spectrum swing quickly, and Luke Wilson nearly with a steal. A pass for Femright was there, but Luke Wilson shot out of a cannon to nearly get the steal. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Dragons, and it will be inbounded to Spectrum. It goes here to Miller, now outside to Gregg. Gregg nearly loses it. He'll give it off now to Femright. Now outside to Milky for 3. That's no good. It's Riley Cummings with the rebound. Back the other way go the Dragons. Luke Wilson gets a screen from Riley Cummings. Now out to Haas. Haas gives it off Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson looking to drive in. Stops, backs out to the free throw line. Now drives in again. Had it poked out, and it will stay with the Dragons. Tied at 2. Minute 10 off the clock. Wilson will look to inbound. Gets it off. Far side to Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney looking to drive inside. He'll give it back to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson, top of the key. Nice ball handles, drives inside, puts up a shot. It drops through. Wow. That one drops through, and Dragons have a 42 lead. Quickly up the court to Miller. Miller gives it off far side now to Gregg. Gregg will put a little floater up. That's no good. It goes and rebounded here by Lamont Sidney. Looking to drive through some traffic. He'll pull up. He floats to the basket to put it up and in for 2. No one does that better than Lamont Sidney. He floats. He literally levitates. I don't know how he does it. Spectrum staying in some trouble. They get it out to Gregg, though. Gregg. Now get it to Femright for 3. Ooh, Femright feeling himself. For 3. Pulls up in the face of the defender there. Dragons have it. It's Luke Wilson. Top of the key. He looks, trying to drive. He'll back it off, and now drive to the far side. He'll stop, pull up a 3 himself. He's good. Step back 3 there for Luke Wilson. Makes it 9-5. Out to a hot start here for both teams, but Pine City a 9-5 lead. Ooh. Quick whistle there on Sidney, and gets up limping a little bit. I think he might have got a knee to the thigh. It's going to be the first foul on him. And Gregg for 3. That's no good. Easy rebound there for Luke Wilson. Wilson up the court on the far side. Trying to get around the defender. Nice handles. Trying to drive inside. He'll back it out a little bit. Lose the ball for just a moment. Now give it off to Haas. Back to Wilson. Wilson drifts to the near side. Now gives it to Sidney. Sidney's going to pull up from 3. He's trying to get things going. That's no good. And rebound still up for grabs. Riley Cummings got the rebound. I thought he was tripped there. I thought it should have been maybe a foul call on Spectrum, but they're going to call him for a travel instead. The ball will go back to Spectrum. Dragons lead 9-5. Under 15 minutes to go. Gregg with it. Drive inside, give it off now to Miller, and he'll put it up and in for 2. Pine City just a little too quick past him. They're all moving so quick out there that it's tough to get around them. Wilson lost it, and it's going to go out of bounds off of him. We'll go back to Spectrum and turnover there. A.J. Austinson will check into the game here for Pine City. Lawrence will bring it up the court. He'll pass it off to Gregg. That one's out of bounds, and it will go back to Pine City. So back-to-back turnovers. We'll give the ball back to the Dragons, 9-7. Pine City with the lead, 14:35 to go, first half. Luke Wilson drifts to the top of the key. Thought about 3. Instead, he gives it off to Austinson. Austinson works inside. Now he'll go inside, put up a shot. That's just off the mark. Riley Cummings trying to bring it down, but it's going to fall in the hands of Noah Miller for Spectrum. Quickly up the court here to Milky. Milky fakes the shot and almost had it blocked by Sidney, but he puts it through. Tied at 9. Wilson top of the key. Goes inside to Cummings, who puts it up and in for 2. Beautiful pass there from Wilson. And great job by Cummings just to get behind the defense and get through them without being noticed. Gregg will get the pass now from Femright. Gregg will give it off to Miller. Miller trying to get by Seals. He will now give it off to Femright for 3. That's no good. And Sidney brings it in like a punt return. Quickly up the court to Luke Wilson. Lost the ball for a moment. Gives it out now to Seals. Sidney has it back. He lost it, and he'll go and reestablish in the backcourt and then pick it up. Now gives it off to Austinson. Austinson drives. He'll give it out to Luke Wilson, who thought about a long three. He will pull up a college three. It's good. Luke Wilson for three makes it 14-9. And quick passes here by Spectrum. That is really what has helped them here in this first half. Greg shot no good. Easy rebound there for Luke Wilson. Wilson brings it up the court, stops, backs out outside the perimeter, now drives inside to the free throw line, gives it to Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney wants to drive inside. His shot is up, no good, but he's fouled, and he'll go to line and shoot two. Okay, we'll call this one on Ethan Milkey. His first, team's first, and Lamont Sidney's at the line to shoot two. First one's up, no good. And the second one from Sidney, no good as well, but Riley Cummings gets the rebound. He'll get it to Austinson. Austinson comes from the backcourt and flies to get the pass. Austinson wanted Wilson. He will get it to Wilson. Wilson on the far side gets a screen from Cummings. Now looks to drive inside, gives it to Cummings. Cummings off the backboard and in for two. 16-9. Dragons starting to work it inside to Cummings here early on, and what they're doing is they're working it from the perimeter with their three-point shooters and then getting it off inside. I like the plan. This ball stolen away by Lamont Sidney. And again, you got to make sure you're watching out for him because he levitates. And now a steal back the other way by Greg, and he'll put it up and in for two. Lamont Sidney, I think he got in front of himself a little bit there on that last one. Yeah, but good job by the Spectrum defense. Now inside to Sidney. Sidney works around the defenders. Back outside to Wilson. Wilson will step around. I think we got a lane violation. Or in the paint. Can't be in the paint too long. Checking in for the first time here tonight for Spectrum is going to, oh no. It's going to be 35, and I don't have a number for 35. Shoot. That was my worry. Charlie Osmus, though, in for Pine City for the first time, as is Nick Plajek. Well, I guess he's going to go without a name here tonight. 35, he'll look to put up a floater. It's no good, taken in by Miller. He'll bring it back outside. Now give it to Greg. Greg now to Miller, back out to Greg. He gets a screen, he'll pull up from the free throw line. It's going to be off the mark, and Lamont Sidney goes up to get it. 22 also into the game. Another player I don't have a number for. Usually their rosters are on the Minnesota State High School League, but that's all they had on their roster on the Minnesota State High School League website was 7 players. So unfortunately, some of these guys, another one without a name, 23. So I apologize. I just got this off of the State High School League, and the school here at Pine City has the same. We both have 7 for their roster, so I apologize. That is all they put on their website and on the State High School League website. Wilson drives inside. His shot is up and no good. Rebounded here by Femright. And get a charge. Charlie Osmus took that charge. That one's going to go against, I believe it was 24. So Femright's going to get the foul. His first, team second. Wilson will bring it up the court now for Pine City. He'll give it off to Sidney on the far side. Sidney looking to drive inside, and basket is good. He drew the foul plus the and one. 21, that's going to be Miller who draws the foul. Their team's third, his first, and Sidney at the line for the possible three-point play. And that one does not get the friendly bounce. It's no good. Rebounded there by Miller. It's Femright who gives it to Miller. Miller looking to drive inside, and he's going to be fouled there by Haas. Seen that one. He got his arm, unfortunately. I watched it happen. And that will send Miller to the line for 2. Haas is first, team second. 10:34 to go. And the first one is good from Noah Miller. Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Find out more at embracemn.com. Miller makes them both. 18-13 is the lead for Pine City. Wilson up on the far side. He'll give it off now to Sidney. Sidney, top of the key. Trying to drive inside, slips a little bit, loses the ball, picks it back up. He's looking for someone to get it off to. He does to Wilson, who's standing at the top of the key. Wilson calls out a play. He'll wait for the offense to get into position. Gets a screen from Sidney. Now gives it off to Haas. Haas to Wilson on the far side. Looks to get a screen again from Sidney. Now he'll look to drive inside, give it out to Osmus for 3. Charlie Osmus drains it from 3 to make it 21-13. Under 10 minutes to go. Sidney tried for the steal. It's no good. It's now to Miller. Miller, he'll take it back, and he'll wait for the offense to get into position. He'll give it inside there to 35. Again, I apologize. This is what we have from their websites. Looks like we're going to get a travel here on Spectrum. So the Dragons will get it back on a turnover due to a travel. Luke Wilson brings it up into the front court, trying to get around the defense. He'll give it back to Osmus. Osmus now to Sidney. Sidney top of the key. He'll give it off to Wilson. Far side, a 3 off the mark. Rebounded there by number 35. Now to Lawrence. Lawrence looks to drive inside, put up a little floater. That's no good. Lamont Sidney for the rebound. And he'll jog it up the court. Now gets around 1. Oh my goodness, what a move by Lamont Sidney. The stutter step slide, drive inside for 2. 23-13. Now they go inside and look for a shot off the backboard, no good. Lamont Sidney is going to get the rebound, and we get a foul on Spectrum. I think they got that one on Lawrence. They did. It'll be his first, team's 4th. Get a couple more substitutions here for Pine City. Osmus, Wilson, and Plajek check out. It's Austinson, Cummings, and Seals back in. Sidney gives it up to Austinson, who will now bring it to the front court. Gives it off to Haas. Haas, he'll hand it off to Seals. Seals looking to hand it off to Austinson. Austinson now to Sidney. Sidney stands at the top of the key, working on the defender. Yeah, he's going to pull up from 3. Off the mark. Rebounded there by Spectrum. Trying to drive inside. Trying to put up a shot. He waits for Lamont Sidney to come down from space and gets it over him. For 2. 23-15, Dragons still lead. Haas gives it to Sidney. Sidney on the near side elbow, trying to drive inside, spins around, loses his ball, and it is going to be tipped and taken back in the backcourt by Ashton Seals, so he'll go back to the front court and now give it off to Haas on the far side. Haas gives it off now to Austinson. Austinson near side elbow. Nice move. Gives it off to Haas. Haas will hand it to Sidney, and Sidney will slow things down just ever so slightly. Now gives it off far side to Isaiah Haas for 3. That's good. His first points of the game. It's a 3 to make it 26-15. Quickly up the court. We're going to get a foul. And I didn't. Going to get that on Haas, his second, team's 3rd. Wilson will check in for Haas. He checks out with 2 fouls. We get a substitution real quick, though, for Spectrum. Femwright will check in for number 22. You can hear that student section for Pine City getting into it. Fakes a 3, now gives it off to Lawrence. 23 has it, gives it off inside. Now outside to Milky. And a step back 3 attempt. No good. Falls into the hands of Luke Wilson for the rebound. He'll take it quickly up the court. He stops at the free throw line, backs out to the near side elbow, looking for a screen. Oh no, Sidney got his knee twisted on that one. That did not look good. He's up though. Maybe just took himself a second to get up, just make sure he's all right. That did not look pretty. Wilson, oh my goodness, behind the back pass. Are you kidding me? What a pass there from Wilson to Cummings. It doesn't end up in 2, but Cummings was fouled, so he'll get to go to the line and shoot 2. But what a ridiculous pass there from Wilson. A no-look behind the back pass and somehow made it through traffic to Cummings. It'll be Milky's second, team's 5th. Cummings got the friendly roll off the rim to drop that foul or free throw in for 1. Miller will check in for Spectrum. 27-15. Cummings makes 1 of 2 there as he misses his second. Rebounded by the Sting. Lawrence has it. He brings it down one-handed as that nearly got over his head, but he brings it down. And it's on the far side here. And up and in for 2 from Femright. Wilson, he'll give it off far side to Austinson. He pauses, gets a screen from Cummings. He'll bounce pass back now to Wilson. Wilson, screen from Lamont Sidney, but he ran into Sidney on the screen. So Wilson will work back to the near side elbow, and Sidney falls. Now we're going to get a foul there on the Sting. Leave Femright. Yep, it is his second, team's 6th. Their head coach, he just wants kind of to know why it was a foul or maybe something else. But there again, their head coach, Tom Terhar. And a travel call there on Pine City. It'll be a turnover. 27-17 they lead as Haas and Plajic will get ready to check back in. Sidney and Seals will check out and take a rest. And Sidney, he fell a couple times while providing a screen, and one of the times it did not look pretty. It looked like his knee got twisted a little bit, so hopefully he's all right. Plajic plows through to get to the defender with the ball, or the Sting player with the ball. He'll pass it back outside here to Milky for 3. That is good. Wilson, far side, takes up the court with 5.5 to go. Drives inside, backs out to Isaiah Haas. Haas now on the far side corner for Cummings. Goes inside to Wilson. Back up, off the backboard and in for 2. 5.5 to go, 29-20. Quickly up the court here to Miller. Miller on the far side to Milky. Milky now to Femright. Femright left all alone, no good. Race after the rebound. Austinson will grab it. He'll take it up the court, stops. Gets around one defender, gets around another one. Nice ball handles. He's learned something, a thing or two from Luke Wilson. He'll now give it off to Cummings. Now to Wilson at the top of the key for 3. That's just off the mark. Rebounded by Miller for Spectrum. And the Sting will bring it back front court. Miller thought about 3, brings it down, drives inside, gives it back out. Now, Milky with it. Spins around, gets off one defender, gives it back outside. And that one's off the mark. And coming down with it was Milky. He was close to stepping out of bounds, but didn't. And that 3 is no good. Rebounded here by Cummings. Quickly up the court, Luke Wilson. No good. Haas no good. Haas got the rebound, and then Cummings comes down with the rebound. A 3 from Luke Wilson. Oh, that rattles out. The unkind roll there from the home rim. Rattles it out, 29-20. Miller has it. Miller, he's going to drive inside. Backs it out to Lawrence for 3. That's going to come up well short. And Riley Cummings with the rebound. Gives it off to Wilson. Wilson Euro steps, but then pulls up off the backboard and in for 2. 31-20. Now under 4 minutes to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, helping you find a smile you embrace forever. A 3 from the Sting. That's no good. Isaiah Haas with the easy rebound. Luke Wilson nearly loses it. He got bumped just a little bit, but now the offense to the front court, and he tries to go up and in for 2 again. Wilson just having his way in the paint right now, 33-20. And it's going to be Femright who took it the other way, but a foul there on Pine City. It'll be their team's 4th. and the first. Not sure who that was on. Not really sure who that's on. Although it is a foul. It is their 4th team foul. It's on someone. Not sure who. Nick Plajek, Wilson will take a rest. In for them is Ostenson and Osmus. And Sydney also checks back into the game. Meanwhile, Femwright misses the first. He'll make the second. 33-21. Dragons get the call from their head coach, Kyle Allen, and they'll bring it to the front court. Ostenson pulls it down, gives it off to Haas. Haas will go around all of the defenders, gives it underneath to Cummings, who does get it to fall through. Bounced on the rim a couple times. It finally made its way through, 35-21. Under 3.5 to go here in the first half. Lawrence has it for the Sting, gives it off to Femwright. Femwright drives inside. Ooh, they're gonna get Haas. That'll be his third, and he'll come and take a seat. That'll be his third, and he'll take a seat probably till the second half. Nick Plajek will check back in. Still don't know who had that other foul that sent Femwright to the line. Sydney with 1, Haas with 3. Yeah, not sure. Inbound quickly there, and the shot from Greg no good. And we get a foul on the Sting. That'll be their team's 7th, and it will send a Dragon to the line for a 1-and-1. Greg with his first foul, team's 7th, as I mentioned. 35-21, and Nick Plajek at the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 3:04 to go. First half. Plajek's first one, no good. Cummings tried to come down with the rebound. No good on that attempt, but that ball will go out of bounds. Last touch by the Sting. Wilson will get ready to inbound. Does to Lamont Sidney, who'll pull up from 3, just off the mark. Rebounded here by Femwright, and he's got a quick lane. Oh, and he traveled. Lamont Sidney, he faked going up for the block and then held his ground, and Femwright slid as he stopped, and that is a travel. Lamont Sidney, again, whether he's putting up points, whether he's making the block or getting rebounds, he does everything so well. And that time, the fake block attempt drew the travel from Spectrum. Who knew a fake block attempt was something? I didn't. Meanwhile, they'll have it back in their front court. Luke Wilson, oh my goodness, just getting everything to fall right now his way, 37-21. 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Noah Miller has it. He'll drive inside. He'll put up a shot. That falls through. 37-23. Luke Wilson will take it up the court slowly and then give it off to Sidney. Sidney on the far side takes it top of the key. Sidney gives it off, and that's poked out of bounds. Intended for Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson say, hey, that's on me. The accountability this team has is impressive. So a timeout taken here by Pine City with 2:13 to go in the first half. They lead 37-23 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. Dragons lead 37-23. Starting to get their offense in a roll, and they will get some strategic words from their head coach, Kyle Allen. They'll be left with 4 timeouts. That's the first timeout taken here by either team, and we're just under 2.5 to go in this first half. (37-23), 2:13 to go. Dragons have the lead. They will get to inbound off the timeout. Wilson inbounds to Cummings. He'll get it back to Wilson. Now to Sidney. Sidney will pause. He'll wait for the call, and now he gets the offensive call. Waits. Now he'll start to drive in, looking, trying to drive inside. Spins around, and he's going to be fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Sting do not agree with that, and it was close. I think if it wouldn't have been called, it would have been good, but if it was called, it would have been good. That's one of those where either way, it probably is a good call. You know, again, if you're a Spectrum fan, you probably say, well, no, it's not. And if I were a Spectrum fan, I would agree. Sidney's first one up is good. Make it 38-23. But again, I think that's one of the ones where whether it's called or not, it would have been a good call. And it was called. And that one up and good again from Sidney. So 2 for 2. That trip makes it 39-23 with under 2 minutes to go. Greg has it in the front court now, trying to drive inside. He backs it out now to 22. And now gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence made a defender miss, gives it off to Noah Miller for 3. That's off the mark. Riley Cummings brings in the rebound. And Luke Wilson will stop and slow things down. And now passed off far side to Lamont Sidney. Sidney, he's patiently waiting, trying to set up the defender. He dribbled the ball once, so now he's going to have to pass it to someone. He does to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson has it on the far side. I think they're just looking to take some time off the clock. He spins, drives inside. Shot is up, no good, and the rebound that time by number 22 for the Sting. Again, at halftime, we'll try and get the names for those numbers from the head coach of Spectrum. That shot, no good, but a foul is going to be drawn by Spectrum, and I believe they're going to get Cummings on that one. Yes, so Cummings gets the foul. Again, do not know who got that other one yet. So it is Noah Miller at the line to shoot 2. First one is up and no good. That one is up and good. So Miller makes 1 of 2 that trip. And it's 39-24. Wilson gets the inbound, and now we duck under a minute to go. Wilson into the front court now as he walks it up. He'll look for a screen from Plajek, and he'll take it back to the near side. Wilson back and forth. It's a screen, then he'll take it back. Just trying to drain some clock here. He almost got double teamed, but dribbled his way out of it. We are now at 30 seconds to go here in the first half. 39-24. Dragons with the lead. Wilson looks for a screen from Plajek. Instead goes the opposite way. Now he'll get a screen. Go back the opposite way. Now looks to drive inside. Puts up a shot. In for 2 plus. Oh, no, we got a charge call. And again, that's, I think, one of those where probably not as close as I think it is, but I think it's one of those where, in my belief, if you call it, it's good. If you don't call it, it's good. But they do call it that time, and it will be on Luke Wilson, his first. And Miller will have it if you're Pine City. It looks like they'll not try and go for the steal. They'll just wait for them to take that last second shot. Shot is up, and it's going to come up short. And it won't matter as the rebound was not grabbed, but Pine City will go into halftime with a 39-24 lead over the Spectrum Sting. And we will take a commercial break, hear a word from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be ready to recap that first half that was. I'll give you my keys to the second half and what I think the Dragons need to do to get the victory. You're listening to Boys Basketball here on 106.5 FM AM 1350.
Hey, I'm Chad
WCMP.
Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get-there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
It's halftime here inside Pine City High School on 106.5 FM AM 1350, and of course live with video, WCMPradio.com. The Pine City Dragons, the boys game is the second game of this doubleheader. The boys taking on Spectrum, and they lead at half 39-24. Your stat leaders on the side of Spectrum, it was Noah Miller and Ethan Mielke with 7. Blake Femwright with 6, 2 for Jonathan Gregg, and 2 for number 23. I will try and get to their coach and ask their names here before the second half begins. 4 rebounds each for Miller and Femwright. So they lead the team. They had 1 steal and 8 team fouls. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, Luke Wilson led the team with 18 points, 8 for Sydney, 7 for Riley Cummings, and 3 for both Isaiah Haas and Charlie Osmus. 7 rebounds there for Cummings, 5 for Sydney, and 3 for Luke Wilson. They had 1 steal as well and 7 team fouls. The Pine City Dragons do lead here by 15 at halftime, and it's been a good game so far for Pine City, and they're really attacking the inside of Spectrum here tonight, really just forcing their will inside, even though they have hit a few threes here in this game from Osmus, Haas, and a couple from Wilson. They've really been attacking the inside, and I like the fact that they are attacking the inside, because if there's a weakness and you exploit it and you do it well, why not continue to attack it and continue to exploit it? And that's what they have done here tonight with the inside game. It's been Luke Wilson, and he'll pass it off to Sydney, and Sydney will drive inside, try and get it up, or they'll give it off to Riley Cummings, who has done a good job here tonight of driving inside and getting passes and setting himself up wide open underneath the basket to get those easy buckets. And they have done that here this evening, and that has helped them to this 39-24 lead at half. Well, the Dragons, again, I think on offensively, just continue with that. Continue to drive it inside and exploit that weakness, if you want to call it. I don't want to necessarily call it a weakness, but exploit what they're not doing well here tonight if you're Pine City. And and continue to get that ball inside, and also while you're working it inside with whoever, also make sure to pass it back out, because that leaves you wide open for three, and we've seen that a couple of times here for Wilson and Osmus and Haas, because the Dragons have been driving so hard inside all this first half that they drive so deep inside the paint that they pass it back outside, and someone's left wide open for three. So I think you need to continue to do that. Defensively, it's been a pretty fast-paced game, so I've been trying to keep up as much as I can, but yeah, the pace is just incredible, and defensively I think Pine City's doing a pretty darn good job. One of the things that they're going to have to do a little bit better is the quick passes. That's one thing I've noticed that Spectrum has done really well here in the first half, is they have done so well of getting these quick passes off. They don't waste time. It's boom, in the hands, then out. It's like hot potato. As soon as it touches their hands, it is out to the next one, then out to the next, and then it's either drive in or shoot that three. And a lot of times that has left them open for three. So for Pine City, you got to watch that and got to make sure you're in the passing lanes to at least tip it. They've done it a few times. That's kind of thrown off the rhythm here for Spectrum, and that's really helped Pine City get out to this 39-24 lead over Spectrum at halftime. We've got about 3 minutes left of halftime, and you hear the band playing. The student sections here and family, friends have all come out for this one. It is the second game of our doubleheader here inside Pine City High School. That first game saw the Pine City Dragon girls basketball team get the victory over Chisago Lakes 84-45. It was a tale of two halves. Pine City was up 32-31 after a buzzer beater at halftime from Sophie Lati to give them that 1 point lead. And then in the second half, they only allowed Chisago Lakes 14 points in the second half. So it was really a tale of two halves. They scored 52 themselves in the second half to Pine City. So an impressive turnaround, and that momentum shift was greatly helped by that buzzer beater from Sophie Lati. And I got a word from head coach Ted Haas, and our A&W player of the game was Piper Metling. Thanks to Piper Metling. Again, she may not get the gaudy stats for Pine City, but she does the work and she gets it done for the Dragons. So she won't necessarily get all the stats in the world, but again, she just does her job, does it really, really well, and helps her team out in every single way possible. So the Dragons will be ready for halftime. I'm going to go try and get some names from this head coach here, but I don't want to interfere with his coaching either, so see if I get a free opportunity. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back and be ready for half number 2 inside Pine City High School between the Dragons and the Sting. You're listening to Boys Basketball.
Hey, I'm Chad
WCMP.
Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getthere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
So I was not able to get down there. Their head coach been busy coaching up their guys. Don't want to interfere with that. Wouldn't feel right to me. So I apologize. Was unable to get their names. Again, I apologize, but don't want to interfere with their coach's coaching. It just wouldn't feel right, giving his guys help out there and trying to get them to get a lead here in the second half, and just would rather not interfere. So I might have found a solution, though, to get their names. May have. We'll see. The Dragons will start with it, and as I try and get the names here for Spectrum, as Luke Wilson puts it up and in for 2 to begin the second half. And back the other way is Noah Miller. He'll answer with the 2 of his own. Apologize. I'm trying to get the names here for Spectrum, and I believe I've got them. Hopefully these are right. Pine City has it back in their front court. Mont Sidney has it inside. He'll look for someone. Tries to get it off to Haas, but it is stolen away there by Milky. And now to Greg. Now inside, and a high floating ball from Lawrence is no good. Rebounded by Lamont Sidney. He'll give it off to Luke Wilson, who drives inside, puts up an awkward shot. That is no good, and rebounded there by Milky. He'll give it off to Femright. Now to Lawrence. And the shot, they're blocked! And stolen away by Lamont Sidney. He'll take it up the court, give it off to Luke Wilson for three. That's good! Luke Wilson, NBA range three for him. And now the ball on the court, and we're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Sting. Their head coach, Terhar, tried to get that timeout, but his team will get the possession anyways. But again, you want to preserve that possession arrow for late in the game when you might need something like that where team can tie it up and then you'll get the ball free, basically. Lawrence will have it. Now off to Greg, and now to Miller. Miller will give it off to Milky for two, and that is no good. Mistiming the jump was Cummings, and then put back up and in for two by Miller, who got the rebound. 44-28. Just under 2 minutes gone off the clock here in the second half. Wilson, he'll look to drive inside. Oh, tried to get a little too fancy with it that time. He looked for Cummings, and Cummings just kind of, I think what he said was, hey, just put that one up next time yourself. So a little too fancy with it that time. I like the idea. I saw what he was wanting to do, but just a little too much that time. This ball nearly stolen away. It gets inside to Milky. He'll put it up. No good. And Luke Wilson. He has made his presence known inside, getting rebounds and putting up some shots. That one is no good. Ooh, they got away with the foot on the line from Femright. Now one blocked. Lamont Sidney. Woo! Not the block, but the foul. We'll give him the block anyways. It'll be on Sidney, but a strong block, and that's going to probably cause some doubt in the head of Greg next time he tries to drive inside on Sidney with him there. I mean, Sidney just denied that shot, but Greg makes the first one. Austinson will check in for Haas. And he makes them both. So despite the block, he makes them both. And now Wilson will bring it up the court. Wilson gets a screen from Cummings. He'll give it off now to Austinson. Austinson near side. Looking to drive in. And he stops. He looks for Wilson, and that's going to be stolen away by Greg. And he puts it up and in for two. That's where you could have used Sidney there. But he was too far behind the play. 44-32, and if you're Pine City, you need something to go your way. All of a sudden, momentum starting to shift. If there was a meter, it's now towards the middle and starting to trend in the way of Spectrum, and that could do it as it's stolen away by Femright. Up and in for two from Greg. Now, a lot of teams might call a timeout in this situation. Head coach Kyle Allen lets his guys play through it and figure it out, and I think that's a good thing, because as seniors and as guys who are trying to play hard, you got to sometimes let them get through it themselves. Now we get a foul here drawn by Lamont Sidney. He'll go to line to shoot two. We'll see who this is on. It's on Spectrum. It'll be their first of the half. And the second there on Miller. So again, that meter now at half at 50-50. Momentum. Oh, and then missed shot there by Sidney. That's all right. He'll get a second opportunity. And again, momentum, if you don't believe in it, well, I mean, it is a thing. So maybe believe in it. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. Believe in it or not. Lamont Sidney makes the second one. He makes one of two, and now Spectrum has it. Oh, ooh. Quick whistle there. That was a little quick of a whistle. I will respectfully disagree on that call. See, first foul on Ashton Seals. Team's second. Milky has it. Now to Miller. Miller, block shot. No good, and ball still up for grabs. Lamont Sidney will bring it in on the steal. And let's see. That one's going to go against Greg, his third. The shot. Oh, wow. Wow. Their Sting head coach just said the basket. My goodness, that is sportsmanship at its finest. Head coach Terhar helping the referees out, saying the basket went in and that it'll only be one for Lamont Sidney. He misses, but wow. That is sportsmanship at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Spectrum is trailing right now, and their head coach Terhar just said, hey, he made the basket. It should be one. Wow. That is, I'm stunned. That is awesome sportsmanship. Milky, by the way, got two the other way for Spectrum, but the sportsmanship shown by their head coach, even in a competitive game like this, that's awesome to see. You love to see something like that, especially in a competitive game like this. I mean, he could have easily said no. He could have argued it and just let it be, but he did not. And Miller will pick up his third foul, by the way, for Spectrum, but wow. Just love to see that. Lamont Sidney, he did not have to do that at all. Again, he could have let that just play out, and it probably would have shot two, but our coach said, no, it went through. I'm stunned. It's awesome. Lamont Sidney did make his first. Cummings, Seals, and I did not see who else came to get a rest. It's Plajek and Osmus in. Both are made from Lamont Sidney. It makes it 49-36. Quickly up the court goes Femright. He'll give it off now to Greg. Greg has exploded on the scene here in the second half. He'll give it back outside to Femright for a three. That's no good. Rebound there by Siegel, I believe is his name. Hopefully I'm right. I'm going to go with it, though. Siegel. No good, and the shot is blocked and taken away by Milky. Back outside now to Siegel for three. That's no good. And Nick Plajek will bring down the rebound for Pine City. Wilson will take it up on the near side. Wilson gives it off to Sidney. Sidney now to Wilson, and miscommunication. You've seen Sidney just say, hey, I thought you were going here. And he said, my fault. So just a slight miscommunication between them two. It will give the ball back to Spectrum on a turnover. It's Femright. We'll give it off, and now gets it back to Femright, and now to Siegel for three. And trying to hit that the last couple times, finally does. 49-39, and that momentum meter starting to shade into Spectrum's favor. Haas gives off to Sidney, far side for Luke Wilson. That comes up short, don't know why, but Osmus right there for the rebound to put it back up and in for two. Osmus, great job of just finding his way to that one. Femright will take it in, and they're going to get a foul on Pine City, I believe. .33, that's on Nick Plajek, his first. Team's third. So Spectrum will just inbound it with 12:29 to go here on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. They'll inbound it here to Nelson. That shot is no good from Braden Nelson for three, and then the rebound there from Isaiah Haas. Is up to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson going to drive inside, trying to find some way through the defense. He'll give it back out to Sidney. Sidney on the near side, looking to drive inside, spins around. Pass it out to Osmus, who will just put up a three, and that's good! Charlie Osmus. So nonchalant. He just doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's just so nonchalant with that three. A little floater put up there by Milky. It's no good. Rebounded by Nick Plajek. Pass it off to Luke Wilson on the near side. He looks to drive inside. A little bit of a dead leg move there. Then backs out to Lamont Sidney for three. That's off the mark. Rebound up for grabs. Oh, and then we're going to get a foul. It was rebounded by Femrite, and he got up a little slowly, a little gingerly. It's going to be a foul. Didn't see. I think it might be Plajek who got called. Cummings, Oslinson, and Seals check in. No. They calling one on Wilson? It's the fourth foul. I don't know who that one was called on either. Yeah, okay, so they do give it to Luke Wilson. They had it on the Spectrum side. This ball is stolen away by Lamont Sidney. He'll take it to the basket, lay it up, and in for two. Coming back the other way, Spectrum quickly to Siegel. Now outside to Braden Nelson for three. That's through. 56-42. A.J. Ostinson has it, far side. He'll give it off now to Sidney. Sidney, top of the key. Patiently dribbling the basketball. Now gives it off to Cummings. Cummings thinking about driving inside. Oh, and then he miscommunicates with Ostinson. He thought Ostinson was going to go to the left. Ostinson cut inside. I thought either way that was a smart move because Ostinson was going to cut inside for the pass, and he would have had a wide open lane to the basket. Or the pass outside, and he probably would have been open at least for a second for three, but pass just goes awry. Miscommunication, that happens sometimes. 56-42. Spectrum has it. Miller thought about three, and he'll pull it down. He'll now give it off to Siegel. Now to Braden Nelson. Now to Siegel again. Siegel drives inside. Goes around. Pass it off on the far side to Femrite for three. That's good. And Spectrum going to quickly call a timeout here. That'll be their first, and the Dragons lead 56-45, but their head coach, Jahar, saw something that he wants to talk to his team about quickly, and he called that timeout. Embrace Orthodontics, they sponsor the scoreboard. They'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. If you don't have insurance, ask about financing options because they'll find a plan to fit your budget. They also have custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. They also have Dr. Sievers, who's committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at EmbraceMN.com. The Dragons do lead by 11. But again, that momentum meter slowly slipping into Spectrum side. And we have 10:22 to go here in the second half. Pine City got an 11-point lead. We'd like to try and extend it here, though. Ostinson will take it up the court for Pine City. Trying to dribble around the defense. He'll drive inside. Lost it, and another turnover there. Get a jump ball opportunity, and possession arrow favors the Dragons. Luke Wilson will check back into the game for Ostinson. So the referees are going to come together and talk about it. I don't know. I think they're going to, I don't know if they're. I think they're just trying to decide if they should have the possession arrow. Yes. So that's what they were discussing. And the inbound here from Wilson to Sidney. It's rebounded by Isaiah Haas, who gets through some hands and puts it up and in for two. Wow. He had to battle. And this pass now to Miller. Now to Femrite and the near side corner for Siegel for three. And that's something that Spectrum saw that they wanted to get going. 58-48. Sidney wanted to go one way. He'll pull in the pass. Now gets it off to Wilson. Wilson directing traffic. Waiting for the offense to get set. Now he'll drive near side, back it out to Haas. In the near side corner to Seals. Inside to Cummings, and easy two. Great passing there by the Dragons. Help Cummings get wide open underneath for two. And I'm sure Spectrum will be looking for another three-point opportunity to Miller, and Femrite wide open. Going to come up short. Wilson with the rebound. He'll take it up on the far side, loses the dribble, picks it up. I mean, his ball handling skills are just ridiculous, but that one is blocked by, I think, Williams for the steal. And then up and in for two from Milky on the other side. 60-50 is the score. Ashton Seals left alone for three. It comes up short, but Isaiah Haas right there for the rebound. He'll put it back up and in for two. 62-50, under halfway point to Noah Miller. Back outside to Nelson, Braden Nelson, and left wide open in the middle. It was Noah Miller. He missed and put back the shot, though, off the rebound for two. 62-52. Under 8.5 to go now. Wilson looks for a screen, gives it to Haas. Haas now to Wilson. Wilson gets a screen, drives inside, takes it, blocked, but a foul. No, they're going to say it's out of bounds. Thought it was going to be called a foul, but it was just called out of bounds by Spectrum. 8:10 to go. Pine City will get set to inbound. They do to Haas. Haas puts it up and in for two. Haas just kind of sat underneath the basket, waited for that one. Get to him and put it up and in for two. Travel there on Spectrum's Braden Nelson. He pulled down the dribble, drove inside, then took another step, and unfortunately, yeah, that's a travel. Wilson will bring it up the court now for Pine City. He'll take it near side, nearly had it poked out, and we'll get a timeout called here by Pine City. That'll be their second. They'll be left with three here in this second half. 7:44 to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Dragons have a 64-52 lead with the ball. And their head coach, Kyle Allen, will call a timeout. Stay tuned after the game. We'll get our A&W Player of the Game interview. And, of course, our word from head coach Kyle Allen as well. Stay tuned for that. Last game of the week for these two teams. Pine City will go back again and get started on Tuesday. Then Pine City girls on Monday. So Pine City girls Monday, boys Tuesday, girls Thursday, and I believe it might be boys again on Friday. So we'll check the schedule at the end of this one. 7:44 to go here, second half. Pine City with a 64-52 lead. Luke Wilson has to establish himself in the backcourt before he brought in that inbound pass. He'll now get it off to Haas on the far side. Haas in some trouble. He'll get it back to Wilson. Wilson on the far side. He wanted that three, but nice job by the Spectrum defender to get off the screen and then find Wilson. Now Wilson backs it out to Austinson. Austinson gets a screen. He lost the ball, but Cummings right there to pick it up. He'll now lose the ball, but picks it up, gets it to Haas. Haas looking to drive inside. It's poked, but we're going to get Gregg with a foul. That'll be his fourth. I'm guessing he won't sit as there's under 8 minutes to go. 7:15. Lamont Sidney in for Austinson. They want to get a sub here. Oh, they will take Gregg out. So in for him comes Siegel. And Siegel has hit 2 threes here in this second half, and not a bad sub. Lamont Sidney will get the inbound pass. No good on his shot. Nick Plajek with the rebound. Turns around, puts it up for the reverse layup for two. 66-52, and now a three from Siegel. That's no good. Oh, Sidney couldn't bring in the rebound. It's going to go off of him out of bounds, so it will stay with Spectrum. Spectrum caught a big break that time. They're on that one. Inbound here, and they'll pass around the perimeter. Will the Sting continue to pass around the perimeter? They'll leave Lawrence open, and now they'll get it to Siegel. Siegel's their guy for three, and now they'll hand it off to Femright. Femright drives inside. Oh, nice move by Femright to get inside for two. Nice big steps around. There was some controversy as that inbound pass goes out of bounds, but it's off of a Sting player. Cummings will inbound here to Wilson. They're going to put some full court pressure on, but now they'll back it off. And now right at half court, they'll pressure Wilson again, who lost it. Oh, and Wilson gets past, and not what you want if you're the defense. That pass to Sydney, and these passes are not clean here in this second half or in this game for Pine City. They would like to see those be a little bit more clean. Couldn't think of another word. Siegel 3, far side, no good. And the Dragons will just let that one go. 58-60, 68-54, my goodness. Apparently 2 games for me is too much. 68-54, Dragons lead, 6:13 to go in the second half. Luke Wilson will get the inbound. And Luke Wilson will bring it up the court. Slides to a stop while dribbling the ball, so it's not a travel. Give it off now to Haas, now to Sydney. Sydney on the near side. Lowers his body, tries to drive inside. He picks up his dribble. He gets through a couple hands, no foul call. Rebound still up for grabs. It's going to get to Miller. And now taking it the other way is Siegel. Oh, they're going to get a charge, or a foul, on Nick Plajic. I think Plajic thought he set himself up there in time, but they're going to get the foul on him. And it will not be a shooting foul. They will inbound it, Will Spectrum. Staying looking. They'll get it inbounded here to Miller. Miller top the key. Looking to drive inside, back out to Lawrence. Lawrence will pull it from the free throw line. Too hard off the backboard. Gets his own rebound. And now a 3 there from Milky is no good. Rebounded by Haas. Luke Wilson races up the court. Gets up, no good. Cummings trying to bring in the rebound. Oh, who is that off of that? Wow. It's going to be off of Spectrum. The Dragons will hold on to it. I'm laughing because Cummings, the Spectrum player, was pointing their way, and he shut his finger closed on his hand. Wasn't doing it maliciously. He was just kind of doing it to mess with them. But the Spectrum player was pointing that it was off of the Pine City player. Cummings came around, put his finger down. Again, nothing malicious about it, just something to irritate the player more than likely. But the pass there for Pine City went out of bounds. That's why Spectrum has it, and now Pine City got their hand in the passing lane. It goes out of bounds off of Pine City. It will stay with Spectrum. Plajic will check out. In for him is Seals. 68-54. So this 15-game win streak here. Oh, inbounded, but it's stolen away by Lamont Sidney. He read that like a book. He'll take it to the basket and lay it up and in for 2. I'm telling you, he floats. He floats. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He just, do they have cables in here connected? He's floating to the basket. It's insane. And they're going to get a travel call there on Miller. Miller frustrated with himself, and now we'll get a timeout by Spectrum. With 4:51 to go, the Dragons lead 70-54 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. They also have your customized smile journey to start with them with a free consultation, because the team over there at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible. Custom braces or Invisalign. And find out more at their website, embracemn.com. That's EMBRACEMN.com. So the Dragons have the lead 70-54. My computer has a mind of its own. It seems fair. I promise you did not miss anything. It did hit that as the timeout happened. So you didn't miss anything unless you wanted to see them get into a huddle, which you may have missed that initially. But I promise you did not miss anything important. The Dragons with the lead, trying to improve to 13-10 on the season. Trying to get another win here, their second win in a row, and a win in the section. A win in the section over Spectrum would do a lot for this Pine City team, as on Tuesday they probably face their toughest test. Yeah, I don't know if that is their toughest test. They played some tough teams this season, but more that between those two teams, that's always a fight, and I mean that's always a heavyweight title fight between those two, and I'm sure it won't be anything less on Tuesday. So the Dragons will get set to inbound after that timeout from Spectrum. Spectrum will be left with 3, as will Pine City. 70-54 is the lead here for the Dragons, and the Dragons will Dragons have it up the court, and there will be a foul here on Femrite, his third, team's fifth. Apologize, I had a young man come up and ask me a question, so wanted to get his question answered. Luke Wilson gets the inbound. He gives it off to Lamont Sidney. He looks to drive inside. Nice spin move. And a battle there between him and Greg. And now we're going to get a foul on Pine City. Is that Cummings? I think it was Cummings. Is their 16th foul? Under 4.5 to go. Sting have it. He'll pull up from the free throw line. That's no good on that shot. And Haas comes down with the rebound. And Wilson gets fouled there by Femrite. That's his fourth. So now Greg and Femrite both have 4 fouls. That would be huge if they lost them too. So hopefully they can stay clean the rest of this half. Inbound here goes to Luke Wilson. Excuse me, Haas will make his way to the front of the court. Or to Pine City's front court, however you want to put it. Luke Wilson gets a screen from Sidney, and now Sidney, top of the key, trying to set up the defender to get around him. Now he'll drive inside. He'll stop on a dime and then get it to the basket for 2. Lamont Sidney for 2. Sting come the other way. Greg for 3. It's off the mark, and Cummings will bring down the rebound. Wilson again will take it up the court, 72-54, 3.5 minutes to go. Wilson driving inside, stops at the free throw line, gives it to Haas. Haas will bring it in, picks up his dribble. He'll give it to Seals. Seals in the near side corner, gets out of the corner, and now has it nearly stolen away by a Spectrum defender. He'll give it back to Wilson. Wilson trying to drive inside, stops, backs out on the near side elbow. Looks to drive inside. He has a lane to the basket. Nice move, but no good on that shot. And then the rebound here by Siegel for the Sting. Coming the other way is Nelson, Braden Nelson for 3, off the mark. Isaiah Haas with the rebound. He'll give it to Wilson. And Wilson just going to take his sweet time, bringing it up the court because they're trying to drain the clock here. They lead 72-54. Wilson driving on Greg. Greg been a tough one to get around all night, but Wilson will take it to the basket. That's no good. And rebound there by Nelson, Braden Nelson. Quickly up to Greg, now to Miller. Miller, nice move around Sidney to put it up and in for 2. And we'll get a timeout called here by Spectrum. With 2:35 to go in the game, 72-56 is the Dragon lead. And this is not over by any means. This Spectrum team has shown that they can score quick and in a hurry. So this is certainly not over yet. This will be a battle to the very final buzzer for these two teams. And again, not over yet. Spectrum has really shown their ability to score quickly. We'll see what they have in store for this second half. Or the finish of the second half, excuse me. Over on 95.5 FM, Adam Hefty calling the final game of that doubleheader, Moore and Malacca. Thanks so much to him for calling that game. Of course, we got more coming your way tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that in the post game after our interviews with the A&W Player of the Game and head coach Kyle Allen. This is the second of doubleheader here in Pine City. The first game, the girls defeated Chisago Lakes 84-45, and in this one, the boys lead the Spectrum Sting 72-56. So timeout is over, and the Dragons make their way back onto the court. They will get set to inbound. Looks like full court pressure here from the Sting. And why not? 2:35 to go. They're down by 16. Haas will get it into Wilson. Wilson will be double teamed. He'll take it on the far side. Now work to the top of the key. And he'll have it stolen away by Femrite. And that ball, ooh. Sidney got the block, but they're going to get him for the foul. It'll be his third. Team's 7th. It's a shooting foul, they're going to say, so Lawrence will go to the line and shoot 2. First one is up and no good. So Lawrence will get set for another one. That one is up and no good as well. It's Sidney who grabs the rebound. He'll give it off to Wilson. Wilson will take it up. And, he's fouled. And a little chippy there between Wilson and Greg. And Greg is going to get his... No. Who did that go on? It's a 17 foul for Spectrum in the first. On Siegel. Lucky there, because if that was on Greg, that would have been his 5th. So Wilson is at the line for a 1-1 as that was the Sting's 7th team foul. The first one is up and no good. Gonna get a tie up and the possession arrow favors the Sting. A little chippy down there between those two squads, and if you're Pine City, you don't need that because you're up 72-56. You don't need to send them to the line for anything, that you don't need to be doing. With it is Femwright. Femwright gives it off on the far side here to Siegel for 3. That's good. He's been a three-point machine here in this second half. Wilson gets through 4 players on the Spectrum side, and that leaves Cummings wide open for 2. You can't put 4 on 1 if you're Spectrum. You're going to leave too many people open. That shot up no good. Luke Wilson will grab the rebound. Yeah, they got 4 players trying to get around Wilson, and that left that left literally 4 players wide open for Pine City in the front court. Greg trying to get the steal on Wilson. Wilson says no. They'll give it off far side to Sidney. Sidney trying to drain some clock. He's fouled, and that will be Greg's 5th. So Greg, unfortunately, for Spectrum, going to have to check out Jonathan Gregg. Frustrated with that one. And checking into the game will be Braden Nelson. It'll be a 1-1 here for Lamont Sidney, as it's the team's 8th foul in the second half for Spectrum. First one's up, no good. Cummings brings in the rebound, and I think timeout called just in time for Pine City. 74-59 is the score. Dragons with a 15-point lead on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. 1:29 to go. Embrace Orthodontics, they will do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, you can ask about financing options because they'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. So the Dragons have the lead, under 1.5 minutes to go, 74-59, but again, this still far from over. Spectrum again showing their ability to score quickly. Siegel especially, he has had 3 threes in this second half alone. He didn't have any points in the first half, but has 3 threes in the second half, and he's been hitting from well beyond the arc, so he's going to be a guy to watch here as this game goes along. As we are only about a minute and a half left here in the game. Dragons hold a 15-point lead. They will get ready to inbound. Spectrum gets back out onto the court. Haas on that far side will look to inbound. He will inbound to Wilson. And Wilson will certainly just try and drain some clock while dribbling this ball around. He's trying to get around the defender, Lawrence, and Lawrence providing some nasty defense, but Wilson's going to draw the foul, and who will this be on? It'll be team's 9th for Spectrum. Going to be on Lawrence, his 2nd. Wilson will shoot 2. First one is up and good. Second one is good as well. Wilson makes them both. 76-59. Spectrum has it. Lawrence takes it, looks, he'll give it off to Femwright. Femwright get a foul here on Pine City. Be a 1-1 now for Spectrum. That one's going to go on Charlie Osmus. And it's going to be Femwright at the line to shoot a 1-1 for Spectrum. That one is good from Femright. So he makes the first one, 76-60. And he makes them both. 112. Full court pressure here from Spectrum. Wilson tries to get around the defender, Femright. Wilson, nice dribble. Gets into the front court and will continue to try and dribble this clock out. He's double teamed, but gets it underneath, but it's stolen away, and then a travel by the guy who stole it. That's Braden Nelson, who stole it plus traveled. And we're just under a minute, 59 seconds to go. 76-61 is the score. And we'll get number 3 in there for Spectrum. Let's see. Who is number 3? These all elusive numbers. Sam Matthews is the number 3 for Spectrum. Matthews checks into the game for the Sting. It looks like we will get a foul drawn by Wilson. He'll go to line and shoot 2 now, as that is their 10th team foul for the Sting. The 3rd on Lawrence. This one is up and good. Matthew Blake and Merrick Overtoom check in. Wilson makes them both. And in for the Dragons, Matthew Blake, as I mentioned, Osmus, Overtoom. That shot is no good, but it's going to be out of bounds. It will go back to Pine City, 78-61. 40 seconds to go in the game. Blajek will get it inbounded here to Austinson. He's double teamed. Gets out of that double team. Nearly had it stolen away, and he's in some trouble. Gets it off to Osmus. Osmus gets it into the front court to Overtoom. Nice job there by the Dragons avoiding disaster. Now Osmus has it, and he'll look to just dribble out most of this clock with 20 seconds to go. The Dragons on their way to victory here. And the claps have begun. And the Dragons get the victory here, 78-61 over the Spectrum Sting. So we will get to our post game here in just a moment. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our A&W Player of the Game and Kyle Allen for our post game interview.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us, so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350. We're now joined by our A&W player of the game. That is Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson, first of all, congratulations on the win and being our A&W player of the game.
Thank you.
Big night here for you guys. A big win here in the section. How did it feel to get a win at home?
Feels good. I think we played to our standards, what we should have been playing like all season, and so it felt good.
And you were a big presence inside tonight, whether it was driving the ball inside or going and getting those rebounds. How did it feel to do that here tonight? Was that part of the game plan, or was that just you being aggressive?
A little bit of both. We knew what we had to do. This is entertaining.
And we got a promposal down there?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so Nick Plajek. Yeah, we're getting a promposal down on the court. Nick Plajek, that's pretty cool. Did she say yes? That's the important question.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So Nick Plajek, a promposal here on the post game that we got to see. But again, you guys get the victory here tonight, and now you get to look forward here to Mora on Tuesday. What are you looking forward to in that Mora game?
We got to keep being aggressive, play like the first half of the night, stick to our game plan, and that's about it.
Absolutely. All right, Luke. Thank you so much for being a part of the post game, and we will catch you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you.
And now we joined by our head coach, Kyle Allen. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Yeah, it was it was a good game, good win. Spectrum, man, they're very good. And, you know, it just kind of shows how tough our section is. Mm-hmm. You know, you're looking at where we're, you know, the two of us are kind of sitting near each other in the section right now, and you know that's the level of play we have in this section, which makes it super tough. You know, this is why any team can come out in this section. You know, no one's safe, and everyone has a chance, we feel, and you know, our hope is that we have a chance. You know, Spectrum has a chance. Mm-hmm. You know, every team. You know, and so that's it really speaks to the level of competition in this section.
Yeah, it really does. And this Spectrum team came in on a 15-game win streak, and I think it just goes to show you how tough this section can be when a team much like Spectrum comes in and plays you guys, and you both have played very tough schedules and are both sitting below that 10 mark. I mean, but what does it mean for you guys to come in at home and get a win over that section opponent?
Yeah, you know, and you know, there's always history. You know, Spectrum ended our season in the 2018-19 season, or 18-19. You know, and then we played it. We put them on the schedules, and we played. Went to their place last year and lost by 1. You know, so this is their first trip up here to the Den, and you know, we wanted to show out a little bit. You know, you had a great crowd. You had the pep band. You had a girls doubleheader with us, and so you get a ton of people in here, and it just makes for a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and this was a pretty physical game early on, and it went throughout the entirety of the game. But how did you feel that your team performed despite that physicality?
Yeah, you know, we like the physicality. You know, we want that, and I thought our guys struggled to adjust at times. You know, I didn't think we adjusted as quickly as we are accustomed to. You know, it's the old saying, you know, if you try to do the same thing over and over again and it doesn't work, it's like what? The definition of insanity. And so sometimes we tend to do that. And so we gotta be able to recognize that better and go to the next tool in the toolbox instead of hitting the same tool. You know, the hammer's not working, we gotta try the wrench, and sometimes we don't get to that next tool quick enough.
And the rebounds tonight, I thought, were great here on both sides of the ball. How did you feel that you guys did with getting the rebounds tonight?
Yeah, you know, that's always a big emphasis for us. I mean, I know it's a big emphasis for every team, but, you know, that's kind of our thing is we want to rebound the basketball. And our guys, I thought they showed attention to detail in that. I thought they showed that they had a desire and they wanted to do that. And so it was exciting for us to be able to go out and execute that the way that we wanted to.
Absolutely. Now you look forward to Tuesday, where you will get to host the Mora Mustang. That's a rivalry game, but it's been, like I've mentioned before, it's been a heavyweight title fight every time these two teams play. Talk about that match coming up.
Yeah, Mora, they've just had some amazing groups coming through right now, and this group for them is no different. You know, they are playing some great basketball. And, you know, the hope is that when the words Mora and Pine City come together, everything kind of goes out the door. You know, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. You know, that's a rivalry, and it's a, you know, proximity rivalry outside the conference. And so, you know, our guys will be up for it. I know their guys will be up for it. You know, there's no lack of excitement between the two teams to be able to play each other. So I know both teams will be doing everything they can to get a win in that game, and we're excited to host them. I'd rather play here than there.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck going forward.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out. I got my guy Dan Cranston here.
Absolutely.
He's celebrating his 29th birthday today.
Awesome.
Dan's been with me since year one. We were swapping old stories about his 18th birthday. It was his first away game with me, and we won't say why that's memorable. But he's been with me a long time, so here he is. You know, 12 years later, still coming in, still keeping me out of trouble. Still doing a great job for us. So Dan Cranston celebrating his 29th birthday here with us today.
Well, happy birthday to him, and awesome that he's been able to be along with the team this long.
Appreciate you. Thanks for all your coverage, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That, again, was head coach Kyle Allen joining us in the post-game interview there for the Dragons. The Dragons get the victory here tonight in both of their games. The boys get the victory over Spectrum 78-61. The girls get the victory 84-45 over Chisago Lakes. As we look forward here to the schedule, as I mentioned here for Pine City, they will host Mora on Tuesday, a big section matchup there for the Dragons coming up on Tuesday. And then they go for one final road game to Hinckley, where they will play against the Jaguars at Hinckley Finlayson, and that should be a good one as well. That's a conference matchup. That'll be their last conference matchup of the season. They've got a chance to finish the season at 10-2 in the conference against that Hinckley Finlayson team. Looks like they did play them before and got a victory 72-56 at home. And the Dragons will finish up the season on Tuesday, February 28th, at home against ESCO. And ESCO, a very good team. ESCO has year in and year out been a good team trying to get to state. They are ranked 5th in the state of Minnesota in Class 2A. They're in Section 7 AA, and Pine City will play them the final game of the regular season before playoffs. And as we take a look at these section playoffs, again, they start on March 9th, and Pine City, they have a chance here to improve their section standings with a win here tonight. That'll definitely help them improve their standings. They're ranked 11th right now, but with the win, should help them improve. And if they could keep it close or even win over Mora on Tuesday, that should help them leapfrog a lot of teams and move up in the section standing. So they're ranked 11th right now. They could move anywhere from 11 to 8 to 7 in the section standings for playoffs. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Of course, stay tuned to our websites and our Facebook as well. Our Facebook's a great option, as well as our website. A lot of our Facebook posts will lead you to a link to our website, so stay tuned to our Facebook and, of course, our website for updates and info about who will be playing where and when. About who will be playing where and when, tomorrow we have a big matchup here in Pine City at the Pine City Civic Center, where the Dragons, they will host the Mora Mustangs in the playoffs tomorrow. It's a playoff game for the boys hockey team. The Dragons, they will host the Mora Mustangs tomorrow at 106.5 FM, AM 1350, and they will be playing at the Pine City Civic Center, as I mentioned. Andy Beckstrom will be on the call in that game for us. Thank you so much to Andy Beckstrom for calling games for us. He'll be on the call in that one, and that should be a fun one as well. Again, a playoff game between the Dragons and the Mustangs. This will be the third meeting between those two teams this season. So a huge, huge matchup tomorrow night between those two rivals. Again, the third meeting this season between those two teams, and it should be just as fun as the other two have been this season. But the winner will advance, and I believe they will play Moose Lake, or Monticello, excuse me. I believe they'll play Monticello as we try and get to the tournament page for that one. But as we continue on here, the Dragon Boys hockey team has had a very good season. Didn't quite go the way they had hoped, but still I think a very good season nonetheless. But yes, the winner of that one will go to Monticello to take on the Moose. So that will be the next game for whoever wins tomorrow night between those two teams. Of course, I want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. And, of course, I want to thank all of our fine sponsors. Can't do it without them. And, of course, if you're looking for the sports update, stay tuned to the WCMP and KBK morning shows on KBK with Rock and Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30. And then on WCMP with Joshua Miron on 100.9 FM. At 7:45 and 8:45 for your local sports updates. That is when you can catch your local sports updates. We'll do some regional as well, so stay tuned for that. Of course, stay tuned to our website and our Facebook for posts about who will play when and where, about recaps for games, and other stuff like that. So again, I want to thank you all for tuning in here tonight. It means so much to me that you tune in, and no, it's not for me. I know it's for the kids, but without you guys tuning in, well, we don't have a reason to come out here and do these games. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching it on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button on the YouTube. That way you will get notified anytime that we go live with a local sporting event. Of course, thanks to all of our fine sponsors for sponsoring this broadcast. Of course, we can't do it without them. There's literally no way we could do it if they did not sponsor these broadcasts. So thanks so much to all of those fine sponsors who sponsor each and every one of these broadcasts. Again, it was a doubleheader here this evening. The girls got the victory 84-45 over the Wildcats of Chisago Lakes. The boys get the victory over Spectrum 78-61. Leading the way was Luke Wilson with 27 points. Lamont Sidney had 21, 11 for Cummings, 9 for Isaiah Haas, 8 for Osmus, and 2 for Nick Plajek. So again, the final here in this one, the Dragons 78, the Sting 61. Again, thanks so much for all you who tuned in here tonight. Thanks so much to all the fine sponsors. And again, stay tuned for next week. We'll have more coming your way. Monday and Tuesday, of course, we'll be back here for Pine City Girls against Cloquet, and Pine City Boys on Tuesday against Mora. And, of course, tomorrow, Andy Beckstrom will have the call in that boys hockey game against Mora. The final one more time, Pine City 78, Spectrum 61. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Remember, be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could really make their day. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night and a fantastic weekend.